Greetings, my spooky fans, and welcome to another spooky, dragtastic, spicy episode of Unholy Encounters. This one is really special to me because you know why? I have someone so divine, Black Diva serving up glamour, power, and bold North Carolina beauty. Not only that, she's a powerhouse, a lip sync assassin, and also one of my favorite drag mommies of all time, Serenity Devine Carter. How are you doing?
Oh, child, we here. And one of your favorite drag mommies? I'm the best. What do you mean?
Yeah,
How are you, child?
I'm doing well. Like I told people, I am still hungover because of Tree, but she knows exactly why. So I'm gonna throw that shout out to her.
I
Yeah.
mean, there's a lot worse places you could be than hungover, so I guess that's fine.
Yes. Well, can you tell me what inspired this look tonight? Because every look that you do, I always know there's inspiration behind it.
So, really, okay. The other day I was looking at pictures that I have, and on a lot of my promo pictures, there's a Snapchat, one that I took on Snapchat that has like little moons on the side of it.
Mhm.
And my name comes from um, Sailor Moon.
Yep.
That was a big inspiration for me growing up. And she is the Princess of the Moon. So I decided to try these little moons today. I had my friend help
Oh,
me. They're still rough in project, but we getting there.
yes.
And we decided to do it in red. So I like my good old watermelon dress. She's cute.
I haven't seen that one. You've seen you wear that one in a while.
Let me tell you, this one is my favorite because of a couple things. First of all, I love my legs, and this one is cut all the way up to the titty. Like if this belt
Mhm.
wasn't here, you would just see body. Second off, it's just so flowy, so easy to put on. When when a hoe is ready to go and ready to leave, she goes ahead and she just puts on this dress, or I'll put on a muumuu. I love me
Yes.
a muumuu and a bonnet with nothing underneath and a cute little belt and some slippers. I go into the club looking like somebody mama, and I come out looking like somebody grandmama.
Well,
So
I will tell the fans this because they always wonder what inspired me to wear tails with my outfit. You know exactly what trains I'm talking about. This is that one. 'Cause I've always seen you, what you're wearing trains like, and I'm like, you know what? I'm
a
gonna take
train.
that from you.
Look, I love me a cute little train because especially if you're tall. If you're tall, you got a train, you just look like a goddess just walking around. They be like, "What you doing?" Walking with my train. Mind your business.
Well, I will tell you, there's an outfit I'm designing pretty soon. Well, actually, Maddie's designing for me, where it's kind of like a black velvet kind of vibe where it's country, but it's all leather.
Ooh, we love leather.
Yes.
I'm here for that. Okay, okay. It's gonna be real.
It's not done, but it'll be done by Thursday in my next performance.
See, I need to get me a Maddie. I need to get me somebody to do outfits because, truth be told, I just don't have the time.
Well,
I feel
see
like I
that
could try it, but I just don't have the time.
well, see that's why I like my boyfriend too, because not only that, but dressing me and also making the costumes for me. Because you know what they always tell us? They're like, "Can we have a new outfit, new hair every time?" I'm like, "That gets expensive."
Pretty much. That's pretty much how that goes. Drag do be expensive. Child, I ran out of some setting powder and tried to get some cheap setting powder from the what's it called, from the hair store down the street. Child, when I tell you that did not work out for me, when I say I that powder is 3 shades darker than me and that's their lightest powder.
Mhm. I think that was me too. A couple of weeks ago, I was trying to get this translucent powder from what I usually use for my face.
Mm-hmm.
Use it, and I'm like, why do I look lighter? So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna keep buying my stuff from Amazon because it seems to come out great. That's translucent I'm already using.
See, and I should have just went to Walmart and grabbed the powder that I was missing. However, I was running out of time and I had to be in Raleigh at like 9 and it was already 7.
Mhm.
So I just threw some of my translucent setting powder that I just ran out of, my other translucent, the Airspun. Love
Yeah.
it. Love Airspun to death. Threw it in with the powder and mixed it together and made it work. And child, it worked. But I felt like I was trying to be a magician, a sorceress, or a mad scientist. I was like, what am I doing? I can't even get my colors.
I will tell you before we get fully into this interview, I will tell you I did try to use banana powder, which you recommended. I have to be careful with it though.
Yes, the banana powder will lighten you up real quick, and
Yes.
it'll get the spots that's supposed to shine. But it also will make you look like a ghost if you are not careful. I learned that one the hard way.
Yes.
Child.
Well, before we dive in, I know we have a lot to dive into. Let me actually rephrase that. We have a lot to dive into. You see, this is why I'm glad Post is there. So let's not waste any time. It's my favorite section of what I like to call Inferno Revelations. You ready, Mom?
I'm ready.
You built your own legacy by starting the House of Divine. What inspired you to take that step and create a family of your own?
If I'm be honest with you, I never wanted to be a drag mom.
Yeah.
And I say that with you and 15 of your siblings going strong. I never wanted to be a drag mom. Um, but what happened was, even with me being a drag queen, I somebody pretty much told me I couldn't do it. So I was like, well, now I have to prove you wrong.
Mhm.
And then, I met you, my first child, and we had a good time. It was a kiki, but it was great because I didn't really have to worry about being the only parent for you. So I was
Yeah.
really just a stand-in step parent, to be completely honest. And that was great because I have no responsibilities. I was like, okay, this is cute. And then when the events transpired, and you at that point needed someone to step up, I was like, well, I like you. I guess I'll step up. And then after you, honestly, I found out that being a mother has taught me patience. It's taught me understanding because there was a point in time, especially like way before you became my child, that I was ready to fight everybody. I was, if we didn't agree, we could fight.
No, that's the part I will tell the fans, Serenity will always put me in check, even when I least suspected.
But that's mostly just because I've seen the things that you can do, and you know, that's also one of the benefits, I guess, that has really made me happy that I chose to be a drag mom because I really did not expect it. It kind of was like well, damn, here I go.
Mhm. Well, I will tell you, I'm glad that I have you as a mother. Because
You are one.
trust me, I would not be where I am 5 years later today.
Look, you've done a lot. I'm very proud.
I will tell you what you told me before we go to the next question. Serenity, and not only that, but also Maddie taught me I didn't have to put myself in a certain norm. I could be whatever kind of drag artist I wanted to be.
Yes, I love that because you're a beautiful queen. And even when you first started, like I saw a lot of potential. It's just when you told me what you told me, you were like, I feel like I had to be a beauty queen because you are. I'm like, girl, I just kind of fell into this shit. I
Yeah.
don't know how I got here. Do what you want. Just do good at it. Do what makes you happy.
And now she's a gender fluid party demon right over here.
Look, and the crazy part is that's who you are in drag, and that's who I am as a real person.
So the apple did not fall far from the tree.
Oh, it fell right on under. It's still
Yes. Well, so let's be real. Every drag house had its drama, which I'm sure you know me and you always used to have in the beginning. But what's the juiciest or shadiest moment you've experienced with our dynamic?
mm.
You can be honest. I know we went through a lot in the beginning.
I think what it was for me, I'd say the shadiest moment, probably not even shade, just for me was the moment I wanted to yank you up really bad. And it was when we were with your Auntie Anastasia, and we had stopped at your dorm to get something. And we waiting
Mhm.
downstairs, and 15, 20 minutes have passed. She like, where the fuck? I'm like, I don't know, girl. Then you come out, you like, oh, well, this when you was being a hoe. You was like, I met this guy. I'm like, I know. I know damn well you ain't have me sitting out here on this campus with these people who don't know me looking crazy. Because at this point in time, I was already dressing like a hoe. And so was your auntie Anastasia, but she was still more modest. So we over here looking crazy as hell because we was about to go to the club or we had just came from. I'm not sure which one it was. But we was waiting on you for like 30 minutes. I was ready to beat your ass that day. I was like, look here. If you ever make us wait like that again. And then it wasn't even the fact that you made us wait. It was the audacity you had afterwards that really got me. Because when I said you were like, well, you'll be fine. I almost turned
Yeah.
around and wring your neck. I'm not gonna lie to you. And this is why people say I'm abusive to my children. I'm not. But I did almost wring your neck for that one. That was probably the juiciest moment for me because I was like, this bitch wanna get choked.
Yeah, when Samara used to have her whole face, but now she has to be exclusive girly now.
Well, good. Shit. Stop. Don't be like me.
Maddie snatched me up and was like, nope, no more open relationship for you.
Fair.
So let's talk about us now, because I have the honor of calling you my drag mom. What was it about me that made you take me under your wing?
Um, I would say honestly, you were just ready to learn. Like when you first said you were interested in drag and things of that nature, you were just like, oh, I just wanna, I wanna be the best I can be. And then seeing that passion, even though at times it was misguided,
Mhm.
seeing that passion really made me realize like I can't, like I said, I can't just let you be out here. You need someone to guide you. And granted, I wasn't the best at it, but I figured, hey, we could learn together. Shit,
Yeah.
at this point, you know.
I remember
And
during a time you used to tell me, don't tell grandma that you're my child.
yes, I hid y'all for a while from my mother. She didn't know that I had children for a second. And somehow or another it got out to her, and I don't know how.
Okay, that was because I was talking to somebody. Okay, I was trying to get advice.
Mm-hmm. See? See?
I will tell the audience this, not to my spooky fans out there. It was between, at the end of the day, and mom's heard this before. It was between you and Sanaya, and I'm like, who is gonna mostly guide me where I want to be? And Sanaya was busy at the time, so I was like, I trusted Serenity because you've always been there for me.
And honestly, having you as a child was like I said, you're my first child, so you're my baby. So you there were some times I wanted to wring your neck, but there were also times that we just had a really good time. And it was the passion because even now, like seeing what you have done, all you have worked for and seeing what you have accomplished, even when I came
Mhm.
down there and saw that, like that was gratification for me because at that moment it means I made the right choice. Like you may not be everybody's cup of tea and your drag may be different,
Yeah,
but you're doing what I told you to do, and that is if you're gonna do it, don't half-ass it. That's always been one of my rules. And I love that you have found your individualism. So really, just seeing all those qualities and seeing the potential for those qualities is what made me be like, you know what, I want you to be my kid.
and I think that's what I will tell the fans this also before we move on to number four. Um, I remember a time when I was dating, you know who, and then during before I took the DCP, I think me and you had a smoke session. I don't know if you remember this, but you told me to go to Orlando to experience it out there.
I remember that. I remember that. Because in my head, it was like you weren't sure if you really wanted to go out there at first because you were worried. You had normal fears, what it's going to be like, things of that nature. And
Mhm.
then, you were worried about being farther away from here and if you would, in a sense, be forgotten here. But like I told you, you're young. And at this point, the way I see it is if you don't go out there and experience it, you never know what could happen.
Yeah,
And I'm glad you went out there because you got your empire. You're building it slowly. I see you. I've been
yeah,
keeping track
it's
of you.
Kevin D'Angelo Entertainment right there.
I've been, I've been watching.
I still gotta talk to Maddie about booking you for a family show.
Look,
Yeah.
you gotta let me know. I've been down to Florida one time and I'm not coming again. It was actually really cute. This time, a girl's gonna hold her coin a little bit more so I can go do stuff because Florida is big. Like I thought going to the beach was gonna go like I don't know, quicker than it did. And where
Mhm.
we went, the beach was like 30 minutes away. And I was like, "Ooh, girl, this is gas." But we did go. We had a good time.
I think what I like that you told me to build is not only what we put in the company as well is open a spot for not only just certain niche of drag, but like for everyone. And that's what I carried on to code today.
Yes, because I feel like everyone's drag is different, and unfortunately, in the places that we perform, sometimes people don't want to see certain parts of drag, or they just don't think it's profitable, so they don't give
Mhm.
it a chance. But it's like at the end of the day, drag is an art of expression, and my only thing is if you're gonna do it, don't half-ass it.
Yeah.
That's my only thing. Other than that, girl, if you want to come up here and staple your titty to your forehead and do a backflip into a split, go off. Just make sure you land each of those moves, and that there's no blood on the stage afterwards. That's
That
all.
part. So you also came from a powerhouse lineage yourself, being a daughter of my grandmother, Ivy Carter, and part of the Carter family. But I know that before I do ask this question, Mom,
Yes.
can you give me the rundown on Carter and Mon family? Because I know people always ask me, how are you guys all related to each other?
I'm gonna give you the simple version. I don't know every version, but I know the simple version. So pretty much, Ivy's my mom,
Mm,
and Malaya is Ivy's other mother,
yeah,
and Malaya is also Sanaya's mother. So I've always seen Sanaya as auntie, and she always has been an auntie to me because Sanaya's just been that girl. Love Sanaya, excuse me, that woman. Love Sanaya, she's amazing. Um, and so is Malaya. Like they both helped me out in multiple ways, just like Ivy. So that's pretty much how I see it. And my children call them auntie and grandma as well. All 16 of you.
I think one of my inspirations too, we forgot about this name because she's living in LA now, Closet. You know exactly what I'm
Yes,
talking about, who they say I look like all the time.
a little. Yeah,
Yeah.
you do like a little. Oof, that's
They
cute.
say it all the time when I'm in drag. They're like, you look like Heidi in Closet. I'm like, yeah, funny part, that is my drag auntie, by the way.
Yeah, she do look like little Heidi. I will say that seeing Heidi when she went on the show and stuff, I will say it definitely boosted me up more because it's like a
Mm,
girl who's from the town that I know of. Like I've seen her, I got to meet her. She's an inspiration. She's an auntie, and she made it. I'm like, oh, bitch. One of these days, when I get my shit together, I'm gonna be there.
yes. Which brings me to this question. What is it like carrying that name and continuing the legacy?
Um, It's interesting because I see Ivy, mom, she's constantly winning more titles. And then of course there's Sanaya and Malaya, Auntie and Grandma, and they're winning
Mm,
titles. And it's like, you know, I won't say it's pressure because it's not, but it gives me a sense of hope and achievement. Like I know I can achieve those things.
yeah.
I just have some stuff that I need to finish working out first, and then I'm gonna jump into the pageant scene and get it right. So that gives me hope because I'm like, these are great people, and just to be able to share the last name with Ivy and just be a part of the family with
Mm,
Sanaya and Malaya, it just really it gives me confidence and it gives me hope because I learn something new from them each time we talk.
yeah.
And Sanaya, she has no problem getting me together, and neither does Malaya.
No, because Auntie Sanaya, you can see it on that interview. You guys catch that. She will not hold back.
And she doesn't. And I love that. Like, I personally love that because sometimes I'm very stubborn, and if you don't tell me to shut the hell up and listen, I'm not going to hear what you have to say.
Yes.
I'm working on it. But Naya and Malaya, they have no problem. If they don't like something I've done, especially after I perform, they will come right in the dressing room and read me my rights. And I can't do nothing to be like, yes, ma'am.
I
Yes.
remember mentioning that. I remember a time you snatching me back. I think it was my first like performance back in the chemistry. Like, girl, no, no. You want to tell the fans that story?
Oh, man. Pretty
Because
much. Pretty much. What really. one thing that really gets me is I don't like when people don't put nails on when they perform. That it really irks me. And then second off, it's just you had came back and you was at chemistry and at this point you had already been in Florida, so I had already seen some of the stuff that you were working with. And when you came
Mhm.
back, I just feel like it wasn't the best that you had at that point in time. And before I could even get you about like, your nails not being there or your tuck being seen or whatever the case was, Malaya, like I said, Malaya and Sanaya got me. They was like, you need to get your daughter. And pretty much, just told me to get you together because we know you have more potential than what you showed at that point. And also, if I'm not mistaken, at that point, you were like hella drunk. You were like hella drunk. And I
Yes.
just didn't like seeing that because of the fact of it's very much the simple, especially in the climate we live in, you got the
Mhm.
nerve to be gay, black, and feminine at the same time.
Yes.
Oh, people will try and take advantage of you as quick as possible. And, being at a club where you're celebrated and you're performing, you want to make sure that you're coherent enough to perform in a way that doesn't have you over here stumbling or looking crazy because these gays will talk shit in a heartbeat and it's not
Mhm.
good for your image. And even more so, like after the club, catching lifts or something back home, being too intoxicated is dangerous.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, for me, with that, it's just like if you can drink and hold your liquor, then
Mhm.
go off, have a good time, be moderate. But if you're starting to see that you're not able to, or you're getting more intoxicated to the point where I'm noticing it, and you're supposed to, if you're just there on like some chill type stuff, then okay, cool. And you're not in drag, okay, cool. Still be better. Don't, if I start noticing that, I'm tapping and be like, hey, chill out, maybe drink some water, sober up a little bit. But
Yeah.
if you're there performing and this is something that somebody booked you to do, or you're there in drag representing yourself and you're getting a little too drunk to where it's not like we can see it, at that point, it's a danger to not only yourself, others, but also your reputation. And the biggest thing about me is everything that y'all do is going to come back on me, just like everything I do will go back on Ivy.
Yeah.
And even more so past that, like I told you when you first became my child, I want you to make a name for yourself. That is why the rest of my children's, aside from you, the rest of them have the last name Devine. I don't want them to have the last name
Mhm.
Carter because I want them to make names for themselves. You took your last name when you decided to leave and venture out for yourself, and you gained those last names on your own. And I'm happy for that. I'm happy
Yes.
you've carved your own path. But that's just one of those things where it's like, you know, at that moment in chemistry, I saw that you had so much more potential and it was
Mhm.
pissing me off because I felt like you were wasting it at that point. I felt like you weren't taking it seriously because you had came out to Orlando, you got good success, you came back feeling like I'm that shit. And I'm like, you are. However, you know, calm down. But that's part of being a mother, you gotta sometimes I gotta be rude. Sometimes.
Yes. And that's what I like appreciate because this is why also when I'm performing or when I'm out in drag, well, besides last night because they all understood that was a birthday.
That's fair.
But this is why I only take usually shots or actually just two drinks because I know my limit. And if I go over that, then that's what's going to have me be a messy person. I don't want to do that for my brand. And I think also not only for my brand, but I recognize, like you said, it's going to come back to you. Like, for example, I might do something down in Orlando, but it's always my mom's always going to know whatever fuck I'm doing.
Oh yeah, girl. Don't do nothing. Let me find out about it. We gonna have a phone call. Wait a minute, what's going on here?
Hmm.
But it's also I felt like for me as well, what kind of cemented, how I felt that at that moment is because being in drag puts you as a bigger target, especially in places like North Carolina.
Yeah.
Being in drag puts you at a bigger target. So I just need you to know, like, aside even from performing, you have to be careful because if you're too drunk and I'm not here or something like that, man, one of these hippies will have a field day, and then I'm gonna have to tear up the whole damn town.
Yes. And that's why if he was here, he would tell you. But Maddie was like, Maddie always told me, he's like, always tell Serenity this. I've always put you in check and tell you, nope, you're staying home for a week because you got drunk last night. Yeah.
And that's how it used to be. You can't party all the time. You party all the time, you'll get bored of partying, and then you go do more dangerous shit. And we don't have time for that.
So what? Let's get a little personal.
Oof, not personal.
You're in a relationship with my stepdaddy. You want to talk about how love has played a role in your drag journey?
Sure. Um, yes, your stepdaddy, Daddy Doja. Honestly, first off, we were never supposed to get together. It just kind of happened. But it was probably one of the best things that has happened for me because he's very encourageable when it comes to my drag. He's very like anything I need him to do, he'll do it. He
Mhm.
might talk shit. He's definitely gonna talk shit, but he'll do it. Like even just me getting ready today, like whenever I do makeup, I have to put this mirror up, and I just don't like lifting it because I've gotten used to the princess treatment. And bitch,
Yes.
I don't want to lift nothing down. So I'd be like, babe, babe. He'd be like, no, I'm not doing it. I'd be like, please, you should do it. He'd be like, I hate you. I'm like, thanks, love you too. So, having that type of encouragement also has like inspired my drag more because it has opened up. I think for me, it's opened up like different possibilities. Like, of course, I already had belief in myself before. Like, oh, I could pull this off or I could pull that off, but he really has just cemented his beliefs. Like he's like, I know when you get famous, not if, but when you get famous. He was like, you're gonna want to do a bunch of shit, and I'm letting you know now. I don't want to go out. He was like, you go out without me. I'll show up every now and again because he doesn't like being in the spotlight, and I can get that. I can respect that. But the fact of like, if whenever I tell him I have a show or one of your siblings has a show, and I ask him if he'll take off to go to it, he makes sure he has that day off to show up there.
That's good to get that support. And I think that's, I also learned from your guys' relationship too. 2 years in the running with Kendall over here.
See, and I love it. Like, and it's great because it also gives me more what's the word I'm looking for? More confidence. Like when doing my makeup, like I did a new color today, which was purple, and I don't really do purple like that. I usually like pink
Mhm.
blues. So I'm trying to expand it a little bit. And like he looked at he was like, oh, it's alright, I guess. I'm like, fuck you. This is good. I'm that bitch. Don't lie to me. And he was like, nah, baby, you look real pretty. And it just made me smile. Like he is an asshole, but he's very pleasant, and that has made me more confident when it comes to
Mhm.
my drag. Also, if I'm being crazy, he has no problem telling me I'm being crazy, which is really good when I'm a mother, because y'all kids do be driving me crazy sometimes, and sometimes the way I respond is real dickish. I'm not gonna lie to you. And he'd be like, "Babe, that was not nice." I'd be like, "Shut up."
Yeah.
He'd be like, "I'm just saying that's not nice. Shut up."
But I will say something a little more personal because I know when I was in Maryland, I was very emotional with this part. You ready to talk about it?
Yeah, girl, here we go. Buckle up.
A few years ago during the pandemic, you were in a really bad car accident, and there was uncertainty about whether you would ever do drag again. What went through that experience? What was it like for you? And how did you find strength after the comeback?
Ooh, child. The experience was weird, honestly, because when I had this accident that happened, it really altered everything in my life.
Mhm.
Like, I had to learn how to eat again, I had to learn how to walk again. And I was also annoyed because, so pretty much short story, I went to Raleigh the weekend, like that weekend before the accident happened. It happened on a Sunday. And I went to Raleigh to go perform. So I went and
Yeah.
got one of my best friends from Virginia to come see me perform because she had moved and hadn't got to see it. So, and I just got my license not long ago. So I'm really just, I'm whipping
Mhm.
other shit, everything.
Yes.
Go to Virginia, come back, have a good time. And so, like, she had came down. I went and performed. Performing was interesting because I was at this bingo, but these people did not bring no tips, which is fine.
Mhm.
It happens. It's just they didn't look like they wanted to be there, and it was so confusing. I'm like, why are you guys here? Y'all just look like y'all didn't enjoy what was going on, and I didn't know if somebody was holding you hostage or what was going on. But Enjoyed that, went back home, and then I was taking my friend back to her house.
Mm.
In the process of taking her back to her house, I was getting tired. So once we dropped her off, the person who was also with me, because two other people rode with me, I asked him, "Hey, did you want to drive? I don't want to wreck us. I'm tired." Little did I fucking know. Um, I got in the back seat because I don't know why, but my gut was like, "Don't get in the front seat." So I got in the back seat. We were driving. Next thing you know, I wake up 3 days later in the hospital. And in the process of this time, I was awake. We hit a car going 120. We flipped over a guardrail and got hit by a 18-wheeler.
Yeah.
And in the process of that, a seatbelt decided to play Dr. Cut Me and slice through my damn stomach like a pineapple cake. And um, let me tell you, that's an interesting feeling because I didn't know it happened. That's the crazy part.
Yeah.
And so, when the accident happened, I was awake during the whole thing. I had closed my eyes because, I heard, "Oh, fuck." And I was like, "Ooh, grab the bar and close your eyes." So I did. And when I reopened them, the person in the front had hit their heads. They were knocked out. And then my friend beside me, his face actually had a bunch of glass in it. He had went through the windshield, like his face
Mhm.
hit the windshield. So he had to get facial reconstruction surgery. But before that, he was freaking out in the car, and he's like, "I gotta get out, I gotta get out." So I'm like, "Well, shit, I'll open my door because your door is broke." So I broke open my door and let him out. I stood up and I was like, "Something don't feel right. This is weird. I'm gonna sit down." Well, before I let him out, I had woke up the driver, and he was walking around confused and dazed. And so the ambulance came, ran past me, went to help my friends, and then they kind of didn't know I was in the car. So I'm screaming at the top of my lungs, like, I'm here, it's me, I'm here, like, help. They finally come, they're like, "Oh, we gotta get you out on the other side, your door's too crushed in," which is crazy because I swore I broke that bitch open, but okay. So, they were kind of petite women. So they were like, "Oh, we have to wait to get you." And I'm like, "Okay, well, um, I guess we're waiting."
Yeah.
But because what the fuck else can I do? If y'all can't lift me, I'm kind of stuck here. But then another woman's like, "Well, if we have to wait, he's gonna bleed out and die." And at that point, I'm like, "No, fuck that shit." So, I throw my body over and help them, and they get me out. We get to the hospital. I pass the fuck out.
Mhm.
Mind you, I stayed conscious the entire time up till we got to the hospital. It was a 30-minute ride up to the hospital. So then when I wake back up, it's real weird because, first of all, I'm waking up and I'm like, why am I dazed and confused? Like, I feel drugged. They had me on some great drugs, by the way. But I was very confused and I had like dreams that I was getting worked on by mermaids and shit. It was just the drugs were there. Okay.
Seeming like you were on LSD.
They were present. And when I woke up, I found out that the seatbelt had ripped through my stomach, destroyed my digestive wall. I lost half of my stomach. My ribs got broken. Six of my ribs got broken. My sternum got broken, so my titties became uneven. It was a lot,
Mhm.
a lot, and it was a lot to take in at once because I had never been in a car accident. So the fact that I had never been in a car accident and now this car accident has ripped my stomach in half to the point where I have a bag that is how my stomach is operating right now,
Yeah.
an ostomy bag at that. And mind you, I'm only like, I had just maybe turned 22 at this point, 22, 23. So never had a car accident, never broke a bone. Now wake up from a car accident, my stomach is ripped open. I've got a fucking broke ribs and a broke sternum. Can't fucking breathe to save my damn life. The shit hurts. My lung is collapsed. And on top of that, I have a feeding tube in. Also, when I'm first getting conscious again, my hands are strapped down because in the time that I was in the hospital, they had to put me in a medically induced coma to keep my body from going into cardiac arrest.
Mhm.
Well, when they would bring me out of it the first couple times, I would rip the air tube out my throat and start freaking out and rip out my IVs because apparently, bitch, I was just crazy, I guess. Um, and you can't be doing that. So they strapped me down. So waking up, it was a real experience. And I think one of the best things about it though was the experience I got with my family because my mom and my sister were there the entire time. Like the first thing my sister told me when I woke up, she was like, "Bro, I have good news and bad news." And I'm like, Um, and I can barely talk, so I'm really just looking at her. And she's like, "You want to hear the good news or the bad news?" And I mumble. She's like, "Okay, cool. Bad news first. The bad news is you were in an accident." And I'm like, and she's like, "The good news is you got an instant tummy tuck." And I chuckled because that shit was funny to me, and it hurt
Yes.
my ribs. I'm like, "God damn you, woman!"
Yeah.
And that moment in itself let me know that everything going forward was going to be okay because the recovery, it was just strenuous
Mhm.
because, like I said, I didn't know, they didn't know for 2 weeks if I was going to live or die.
I
So,
will say, I remember your sister calling me and Ivy calling me back when I was in Maryland, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? Why am I not here right now? And I'm like, I need to get down there. But I remember Ivy told me, no, it's not gonna help if you're coming right down there right now.
yeah, Ivy was one of the very few people that I talked to on an everyday basis, even when I was still recovering before I was like able to really talk to people like that. Um, with her being my drag mom, when the accident happened, my mother allowed Ivy to see me on the ventilator, but she wouldn't let no one else see me because I was on a ventilator and in a coma for 3 days. So she
Mhm.
wouldn't let no one else see me but Ivy. And Ivy had promised me, she was like, when you get out, because I couldn't eat anything really and I was starving. And they were like, she was like, when you get out and you can have a smoothie, we'll go get smoothies. And
Yeah.
by the way, she still owes me that damn smoothie.
Yeah.
But that was something that really made it meant a lot to me. And then to hear like, I started hearing from my children and from my friends and stuff, hearing from you. But she was right. At that point in time, if you would have came down there, I wouldn't have wanted y'all to see me like that because I wasn't even able to get up and walk. Like
Mhm.
I hadn't walked in almost a month. And then when I started walking, I had to use a walker. I was looking real old. I had
I remember that because when I was in my dorm, I remember you walking with the cane. I'm like, "Come on, mom," and I forgot she couldn't run no more. Yeah,
I was coming. It was
yeah,
just, I was coming. The crazy part is, even like during my recovery with me having to learn how to walk again and stuff, I still had the attitude like I could fight anybody, and that was my problem. Because I remember going out with my sister, and I had my bag at that point in time. Um, we went to Best Diner actually,
Mhm.
and somebody had said something, and I was like, "Who are they talking to? I will throw shit all over this
Yeah,
fucking diner. I will fling this bag above me." My sister was like, "No, no, you will not. Shut up."
yeah.
And I'm just like, that in itself, healing and being so defenseless at that point in time. Because honestly, the wind could have knocked me over.
Mhm.
Like that's how defenseless I was because I was in so much pain and like I was learning to heal. And having half a stomach and broke ribs at the same time is unfair because, first off, I'm always hungry. But on top of always being hungry, my stomach doesn't want to work right. So I can't eat as much without gas pains beating my ass.
Yeah.
And then if I breathe or chuckle the wrong way, I feel like I'm getting stabbed in the lung. So I'm just like, this is ghetto. The whole healing process was ghetto. And to still have this attitude of the world can't get me, I'm gonna beat everybody ass, but know that literally if someone drove by me too quickly, I would just be defeated
Mhm.
is a wild experience. I've never felt so helpless and so annoyed at the same time. Um, Coming home was a real hard thing too because they wouldn't let me out the hospital until my mother had proven that she could do my wounds.
Yeah.
That was a really wild experience in itself. One, because the first day I got out of the hospital, I almost got right back into a car accident and I did not appreciate it. I did not appreciate it.
Yeah, that
I
has to suck right there. Yeah.
It did. It was scary because I rode with my aunt because she drives super slow, so I trusted her. And we are like not even a stoplight away from the hospital.
Yeah.
And a car almost T-bones us, and I see it, and I'm like, Auntie, 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 and I just start crying. The car stopped, and she kept going, and we were good, and I just started crying. Like we had to pull over, and I'm calling my mom because she was behind us in a different car, and she's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Mommy, I'm gonna fucking die. I just got out the hospital, and it's gonna happen again. I want to go home." It was a terrifying experience, and I did not appreciate it at all. But then getting home and having like no car to go anywhere when we need to go places and having to rely on people. Luckily, we have a good support system,
Mhm.
but also it was just annoying because my mom couldn't do stuff she needed to do. And then also my mom was like not trying to leave my side at all, which I appreciated because, I needed her help, putting a new bag when mine leaked or changing my wounds and stuff because it was on my stomach and I couldn't really sit up. So I needed that. But when I had got to the point where I could do a lot of stuff on my own and she just kind of was helicoptering me, it started pissing me off because I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
I'm I'm good. Leave me alone. Let me sit in here and watch TV. I can't do shit else. Just let me be. Um, and I was annoyed too because I had just like when the accident had happened, I had just came up with a new idea for drag that I was really ready and super excited to do. And the accident happened. And then when I was recovering, I remember calling Ivy and being like, "Oh, I know the song I'm gonna do. And as soon as I get back in drag, I know everything." She was like, "You're not gonna do shit until your body heals. Chill out." I'm like, "I can go with a walker." She was like, "No, ma'am, not cute." I was like,
Yeah.
"Fine." And then it was hard too because we didn't have money. Like my mom had stopped working for like 7 months. I was healing. She had stopped working, and so did my sister. Cause they for a month, my mom and my sister did not work. They stayed in the hospital, like up in Durham with me, and that was like $5,000 that they spent out of their savings to make
Yeah.
sure they were there every day. And you know, I'm not saying we broke, but
I
we
think
was.
didn't Grandma do I can remember a benefit show for you?
Yes, so that's where I was going with it. Your grandmother is amazing because she was like, "We're gonna put together a benefit show for you." And pretty much she had a bunch of queens, and all of the money they made went to me, and it went to paying my bills. Like they weren't getting paid for it. The tips were going straight to um my money. Like it was a GoFundMe. It was amazing, and it was great because the show happened. It happened like one of the Fridays that it was like later on in the months than I thought it was going to happen. So I was actually able to go because I didn't think I was going to be able to go.
Mhm.
Because sitting up was hurting. I couldn't go places for long because my bag would start leaking. It was a lot. I
Yeah.
was going through way too much for no reason. And I got to go and I got to watch all my favorite queens like dance and perform. And in that moment, I felt the most love I have ever felt from the community because at that moment, I wasn't just doing this, it wasn't just me and my family.
Mhm.
It was me and everyone. They were all rooting for me. And that's something that I didn't expect. I'm not gonna lie to you because when you're here and you're in about and everything, everybody tells you, "Oh, I love you. You're great." Blah, blah. And it's like, that's great. Yeah, sure. You don't realize how many people actually mean it or how many people you actually touch. But then to see like the club was packed for my benefit show. And they had got a table for me, my mom, and my sister. And I'll never forget it because I had on this cute little outfit I had just got from Rainbow because I was like, bitch, I may still be
Yeah.
healing, but I'm going to look cute. And I love me a cute little jean short set. So I had me some jean white shorts that were like multicolored. I had me a little white, a white train cardigan that was multicolored. I had my little do rag on, and I had me some boots. I love me a good pair of boots
Yes.
and went to the club and I got to see everybody perform. Your auntie was there. Your auntie Anastasia was there. My twin was there, my birthday twin. And I remember Level Up came on and it's my favorite song. Like at that point it was my shit. And me and your auntie Anastasia, we used to do a routine to it. So it came on and I'm like, bitch, let's go. She can barely walk. I'm like, come on, I can do it. Let's go.
Yeah.
So we get up there, like we sneak away from my mom, Ivy, and my sister. We get up there, we start dancing, and like at first, it's a little stiff, and then I really start getting into it. Mind you, I'm working harder than I should have because afterwards my body was hurting. Okay,
Mhm.
but as I'm getting into it, all you hear is, "Oh shit, okay, Serenity,
Yeah.
oh shit, Serenity, level up," and then Angela turns around, my sister, she's like, "What the fuck?" And my mom is like, "What's going on?" And here come Ivy. You know she hurt. You know she can't be doing that shit. She gonna fuck around and hurt herself. Y'all doing too much. But for me, it was a moment of like, I'm back. I'm finally able to be me again
Mhm.
because I had told the doctors when they told me they didn't know if I could walk or do drag again. I told them give me 7 months And that's my word. Give me 7 months and I'll be back in drag. And this wasn't quite there yet. I still had my bag and I was working, but I only had like 2 more months with my bag before it could be reversed. And so that was exciting to me. And then to be able to get up and actually feel like I'm normal for once instead of feeling like a freak with a bag on his stomach, it meant so much to me just to have that love and that community and support and even that moment. Like I'll never forget that moment. And I feel like it really opened the eyes for my mother and my sister, for me especially, because for them up until this point, yes, I was a queen, and yes, they had seen me perform and they knew how much it meant to me, but they did not understand the family dynamic. They just thought, oh, it's a mentor type thing. They didn't really get how close I was with Ivy and still am with Ivy at that point. So seeing how much she put in to making this benefit show so big and helping us out, because they raised over $900 to help me out. And, just doing all of that, they got to see it finally from what I already knew it was.
Yeah.
And even my sister posted, she was like, I never thought I'd see so much love outpoured from my little brother, but thank y'all so much. She was like, y'all really show what the community can do. And it was something I was very honored to feel. I wish I didn't have to, but I'll never forget that day because it really proved to me like, yes, even as a community in whole, we have our problems and our ups and downs.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I've been to other people's benefit shows and now I've experienced it from a firsthand point of view. Like it really makes you feel how much love is poured out because people that I had seen me perform came and donated and they were just like, we want to be able to see you perform again. We want to be able to see you be back up here and giving us a smile and you're always a sweetheart. Like you're always there for us, so we're gonna be here for you. And then, of course, Auntie Sanaya was like, "Bitch, you had me worried. I thought she wasn't gonna make it. I had to do spells and stuff. We was praying and putting up protection for you."
I will tell you this, and you know this because you put me in check. I was emotional. I was an emotional wreck because you have to understand, Swoopy fans, when I say this. Me and my mom used to hang out all the time, and I didn't even know if she was going to make it or not. But I don't know, you told me, you're like, no, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get back to performing. That's why I'm trying not to cry again right now.
Yeah, because for me, that is what I focused on. Because I'm not going to sit here and say that recovery was all sunshines and rainbows, because it wasn't. There were a lot of days that I was depressed because all I could do was sit on the couch. And then to see my mother, like her changing my wounds, she would cry every time she changed them because it was a painful reminder for
Yeah.
her. And it hurt our family in a way that I didn't know my family could be hurt, to be honest. It felt like I was in a Lifetime movie and I was really over it. And for me, the only thing that I focused on that kept me going was the fact that I was going to get back up and get in drag. I was going to get back up and start bucking again because I had just started really getting good at it. I was like, I'm going to get everything. Like, I'm going to get back to doing something that makes me happy. And I had to keep that same mindset and keep telling my body that to help it heal because if it weren't for that, honestly, I'd had no reason to be alive. Like,
I
drag
think
changed
to
my life.
follow up with you on that one, you told me also because I think I didn't want to perform at that time, but you're like, no, you're gonna show what our house is made out
Yeah, because you was like, you didn't want to perform. Like, for what? You better get up there. Stop playing with me.
of.
Damn it. I don't care if you want to perform or not. I can't, so you have to.
Exactly
Like,
what you kept saying. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna show up this talent show tonight.
because to me, it made no sense not to try. Like, at that point in time, around that time, you were like, well, there's no point in me performing at this talent show. I'm like, why not? You've been performing in Orlando. You might as well. And
No,
you're
this
like,
was no, this was before I moved to Orlando.
um,
Remember? Do you
even
remember? Do you
before.
remember? Do you remember Robbie?
Yes.
Okay, so this was during that time that remember I told you I didn't want to perform if my mom's not performing, and you kept cussing me the fuck out because you were like, "Why are you not performing because of me?" You remember that day now?
I cuss you out way too often. That's a shame.
Yeah.
I want to point that out. That's a shame. I do remember that time too. Even still, it made no sense to me at that point for you not to be performing because you were gonna still, even if you had the same fear, like, oh, because you always felt like chemistry was the epitome of performing before
Yeah.
you moved. And I'm like, there's other places. If this bar doesn't like you, there's other places. But don't be defeated because I need somebody to win a talent show. Damn it, we got things to do, and
Yeah.
I already performed, but I'm not booked because I'm healing. So I need someone else out there. And at that point in time, you was trying to play like you didn't want to go. So I was like, okay, don't go perform and see what happened.
Yeah. No, because
Okay.
I remember you showed up when I was in the middle of doing my face. You're like, "So you performing that, aren't you?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, yeah."
Because in my head, if you had the balls to tell me no while I was there, then what was I gonna do? Beat your ass? I couldn't. Like there was nothing I could do. So I was gonna let you not do it. But when I showed up, it's like you still do your face. I'm like, so you're performing, and you told me I'm well. Good. Now I don't have to intimidate you. You made my job made me
Well,
easier.
well, I will tell you this. I'm going to say goodbye to my spooky fans for now because I have a little game that for me and my mom to play a little later, but we're gonna take our first break.
Whew.
All right, it's time for a little game we like to call Divine or Declined. I'm gonna throw some scenarios at you, and what I need you to tell me if it's a divine, meaning it's a yes, or a total decline, no. And of course, come on, mom, spill some tea.
You always want tea. So I'd like a tea, you know, tea kettle.
Performing in a corset so tight you can barely breathe, divine or decline.
I'm gonna have to say decline. Not by choice though. I want to be able to perform in a corset. I don't know about so hard I can barely breathe because I'm a fat hoe, so it's a lot squeezing. I might poke my eye out or something. But the main reason I can't is just with my stomach and stuff since the accident, the surgery. They told me I would never be able to wear a corset again, and I was like, jokes on y'all. I've never worn one to begin with, but now
Yes.
I low key find myself kind of wanting to wear one, and I'm kind of upset I can't.
I think me with the corset, I wear it sometimes if it's neat, if the outfit calls for it, but mostly what you showed me, and I see only a few girls do it today, girdle.
Yes, a good old girdle, a good old body shaper, baby. Shit, perk your titties up, pull your tummy in, and keep it tucked.
I think what I like about me is, Mom, I don't know if you have the same thing, but I never have to really pad. I only wear like shorts and then put the tights on. You've seen my body. What would you say?
Even me, I get what you're saying. I feel like some occasions call for pads, though. I feel like if you really want to elevate it to an extent, I guess with like pageants and stuff, especially with gowns, pads are needed. I don't wear pads. I do have them. I don't wear them. I have to actually have to get more because the ones I had, they came in shorts and they just were too small and it was too much going on. Couldn't move, couldn't dance. I need to get some more. But at the same point, sometimes I do like the fact that mine is all natural. But also, I already have a lot of thighs. So it's just mostly I need like little circle pads, like maybe like this big, a little couch cushion. And just,
Yeah.
put it just to round it out a little bit more, give it more of a
I think what
voluptuous.
like you and Sanaya told me is probably you're just gonna need like the shorts, and I see my body now. You guys were right. Those athletic shorts, bringing that up, and then tight, and then put the girdle on, put another tight on. There you go.
Yeah. And with those shorts too, you can even put like you can get the ones where you can put pads inside of them. So
Hmm.
you don't have to like because the old fashioned pads and sometimes they work amazing for people. I'm not gonna lie. I've seen some people who have the old fashioned pads and they work great. I've
Yeah.
also seen people who have the old fashioned pads and they like a turkey leg and they don't know how to calm it down. So it's
The
really
first
based on
time
what
I
you
was
can
performing.
do. And it's really based on what you can do. So the fact that now they make pads that are in the shorts, I think that's very helpful to a lot of queens
Hmm.
because it takes a lot of time down. And they may have always made them, and I may have just been completely ignorant to it.
Yeah.
But the ones that I've seen that like, from seeing other queens get dressed stuff that have them from like Amazon and stuff, they're really nice. And the ones I got was really cute. Like I said, they were just a little too small.
Hmm.
But yeah, so yeah, pads are needed, but not an always thing if you can't get them, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Got another one for you. Accepting a booking without knowing how much you're getting paid.
Mm.
Yeah. You know I had to put that one in there. You know I had to.
I'm gonna say decline.
Do
Um,
you
but I
wanna do you
say
wanna do you wanna tell them the story? I don't care, spend the tea because you put me in check.
the reason I say decline is a couple things. One, now I feel like at least now that I've been doing drag for so long, I feel like it would be insulting
Yeah.
for me to do that to myself.
Mhm.
Like, if you can say, hey, this is a range of what we can work with, and depending on what it's for, then yes, I have no problem coming and performing, knowing that this is the range after we settled on that number. You're still
Yeah.
going to give me a number that is the very least that I'm going to make. And
Mhm.
it can't be nothing below a certain number. And because at the end of the day, this takes a lot to do. It takes a lot to get dressed. I practice my routines sometimes. It just takes a lot, and then yeah, just no. Now I would that wouldn't be done for me. But the second reason also, because if I was still new, I would say sure, because I'm still getting my name out there. But after a while, I just feel like no. If
Yeah.
I don't start saying no for myself, then I'm gonna continue getting bookings that are lower than what I deserve. And I put in work. It's not like I don't. And yeah, the second one is because when I came and did your show, I enjoyed. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the show. However, it was just details about it, like money wise, that weren't where they should have been.
Yeah.
And because of that, it forced me to be put in a position that I did not enjoy. And I got a little ghetto, my little ratchet side did come out. And I had to get you together. And I'm not gonna lie, at first I was really pissed. And then I had to realize that this was still something that you were new to and something you were working on. So I'm like, okay, look, never again can you do something like this. And it was also a wake up call for me because I'm like, never again am I going all the way to a destination without knowing for certain exactly how much I'm getting, because I did enjoy coming to Florida and enjoy my time there, and the show was a good experience. But also, it what's the word I'm for? It was a good experience, but with as much as I've already performed, and with the amount of exposure that wasn't received at that point of the show, I just felt like had I not gotten a certain amount, what the fuck did I come out here for?
I think what I would have did to fix that, I had a good weekend, but what I would have done is probably pay you before you got down there. And I think that's what we talked about as well.
Right. And that made me also have to understand, because I don't ever want to be put in that position again where, at that point for me, it was just like I understood stuff happens, but it's one of the things I had to learn and grow with as well, because I understand stuff happens, but for me, I had came down here expecting that amount of money and came down with only a certain amount of money, which was my own fault.
Yeah.
I should have known better. But also, it was like, bitch, it's a struggle time. I'm gonna go do this because I said I was gonna do it. And so it taught me not to accept a booking or say, yeah, I'm gonna come do something unless I know I'm completely prepared to do it or I have the means to still be okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it also, you know, it taught me that, yeah, if it's somewhere that I'm traveling to, I want to get that booking, at least part of it beforehand, because I, as the performer, deserve that much.
But I will say another good thing that I'm glad that came out of it is Maddie today.
Exactly.
Because after party on Auntie could tell you that went wild.
Ciao. And also, I just feel like I didn't get to get as wild as I could have had or been at that point in time in Florida because of other stuff and people I was with. So, you know, I always would
Yes.
love to come back to Florida and give it a duo. Plus, the funny thing, I don't think I've ever told you, your stepdad is a big Star Wars fan.
Really?
Yes. So he wants to go to this Disney Star Wars, some nerd shit. That sounds so mean. I promise I listen to what he says.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called, but I know it's in Disney World. Or yeah,
Is he
I know.
talking about Galaxy's Edge?
There you go, that one. So
Yeah. I
we gotta come down there and try to go see that anyway, so I can make his dream come true.
well, let me know if you guys ever come down here again.
Well, girl, let me know when you want to book me for a family show down there again. There.
It'll
Also,
probably, it'll,
this time also, I'm probably gonna fly because I've never flown before, so I want to try that.
well, I can tell you something that my dad has. Nobody's met him yet, but he's also helped me with makeup as well as Serenity. TJ, he actually just became a flight attendant for Delta. So he can get you some flyer miles.
See, now we can work something out. We can come on down because I need to go back to the ocean. Okay, I miss Florida's ocean. I'm not gonna lie to you. I missed it. I had a good old time last time in my little bathing suit.
Plus,
And
when you and dad always fucking cut up. He's always like, I need to hang out with Serenity again.
look, the KK. Okay, KK. It's probably one of the only other co-parents I have that I actually get along with.
Yeah, the other dad barely texts. He texts me, but they know the story. I'm still waiting to get him on an interview, but I will say Jasper Hex is where I get the hexing from. Mom has never met.
And I would love to meet Jasper. I feel like it would be a fun experience.
Well, I know he quit drag, but he still lives in Atlanta.
I mean, you don't gotta be a drag queen for us to be friends.
Okay, so I have one. Borrowing a wig from another queen last minute. You have done this before. I've seen it.
First of all, honestly, I would say Divine, and the reason I say that is because I've done it and I've had people do it. Honestly,
I remember one of the wigs that always makes me. I'm still need a picture of it because I do want to get it one day in some more colors. Um, you remember that big mohawk wig that Grandma Malaya made you have that night?
now that is a wig. It was heavy too,
I remember they had to really pin that shit in.
baby, to my scalp. But yeah, I say Divine, and the reason I say Divine simply is because you never know, like when either you or someone is going to need a wig. However, I will say that you have to don't loan out your expensive wigs.
Mhm.
Malaya and Sanaya definitely. I don't even think Sanaya loans out hair, to be honest. I might be wrong, but yeah, just I feel like wigs are one of those things. Like if you absolutely need it, and I have an extra one, me personally, go for it. But if it's an expensive one, I probably wouldn't.
Yeah.
Also, make sure you get your wig back at the end of the night. I am really bad about it. I will forget and walk out. It's horrible. Come get me, bitch. You have my wig, and I give it back to you if I don't lose it. Because let me tell you, this one of my friends let me borrow, Isaiah let me borrow, and I could not find this wig for the longest, and I literally found it. And when I find it, I be like, okay, bet I'm gonna give it to Isaiah, and then I be like, shit, there's a show, I'll use it, and I be like, okay, bet I'm gonna give it to him as soon as I'm done with this. Is the last use of it, and then it gets lost. So
Well, do you want me to tell you a weird wig story?
yes,
I still hate him for it, so I don't really talk to him anymore. So remember when me and Robbie broke up, right?
yes,
So you remember how much shit he was going through in Pennsylvania, always moving, always never having a place. So there was a certain place he couldn't get back into,
mm.
and all those wigs that you saw him do for me, I still have yet to see them ever again.
Well, sometimes you just have to count your losses and be like, you know what, fuck it, they got it.
That's one of the bad things I miss about that. Like, but I feel like now I'm more of a, as you've seen me, I'm more of a big hair girly. But if it's called for it, I will wear, like I told people yesterday, I will wear a straight wig if I'm doing a lip sync dancing number.
Eh, I like straight wigs. I love big hair, but I just don't have the means to make the big hair. But I do love big hair. I also love a good afro. One thing I cannot wear is a pixie cut because I be looking like no
You be
man.
like Auntie be wearing.
But it's different. I don't know. I guess because I'm a bigger girl, for me, pixie cuts just don't look right.
I think for me, honestly, the straight wigs for me, it doesn't mesh with like how I like paint my face so big now.
Fair.
Because
Fair.
I think what somebody told me one day, my web designer Annie Dano, is she's like, it's because you have a square so face that it's like when you wear those, it doesn't compliment.
Yeah, see, I have a rounder face, so when I wear the pixie cut wigs, I like somebody's fat uncle something. I don't. It don't look good. It don't. Like I'm over here about to be someone's minion or something. It don't look good. Can't tell you.
Okay, so mixing gospel music into a lip sync battle.
I have no problem with that. Honestly, that could be divine because I've seen plenty of queens who are able to lip sync a gospel song and they get the club popping. Yeah,
Yeah.
you'll be surprised. And at the same point, I've seen queens who have done it and people are looking at them like they're crazy. But I think it's about knowing your audience or knowing the benefit because at the end of the day, like there are queens I know who do shows at churches. Like some
Mhm.
churches are okay with, drag in general and really are supportive with it. And their songs they do, I feel like that's another level of talent, another
Yeah.
level of understanding the song. Because yes, I can do a sexy song all day long, I can do an emotional feel song, but to do a song that, at least for me, is part of religion that predominantly sees me as a threat and sees me as an issue.
Mhm.
To be able to embody the song still and not have that bias behind it, even if that's not how I feel, but just the bias of understanding, like that's kind of how I've been brought up to see it as a gay man. Um, to be able to do that is truly a gift, and honestly, more power to you. There are some songs that I probably would lip sync that are gospel songs that I love. Take
Yes.
Me to the King, love Take Me to the King.
Love Tamla Man right there.
Okay. Tasha Cobb's Why Not Me? I'm gonna do that song one day. I'm going to. But I just know that it's a place I have to find the environment that I feel most comfortable and I feel like it could be received the best in.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like there's a problem mixing in. I feel like it does depend on the scene
Mhm.
of the place that you're doing it at. But girl, if you can do it, bitch, do it.
Well, dating another queen on the mic during the show.
Is it a friendly shade or is it like yeah, is it a friendly shade or is it like are we being like a shady, messy bitch shade? Which shade are we talking?
Let's say it's a friendly shade like Auntie be doing.
Oh yeah, girl, go for it. If you like a buck tooth, wobble goose, green loose, drop juice, giant steak, birthday cake, I'm gonna tell you that.
Yes.
As your friend, because I love you. And if you tell me I like a moose knuckle hoe, then I guess I like a moose knuckle hoe.
Okay, so getting ready in under 30 minutes for a game.
Now this one. I've experienced this one my damn self, and I hate it. Only because I feel like yes, I can get my face done and get my clothes and get to the gig, but I feel like something always goes wrong. Like with my face,
Yeah.
especially, I feel like I end up looking lighter or darker, and I'm stuck. Like, oh well, here you go. Unless it's like I only have 30 minutes and then I get to the club and have a little bit more time, then I'm fine with it. But personally, only 30 minutes to get ready, I'm gonna have to decline that. We can't do that. No,
How
ma'am.
long does it take you to usually get ready, like if you're painting wise? Because I know it takes me probably like I put the 5 hours there because that's the jerk off time and shower time as well.
Bye.
Yeah.
Wild.
Okay, well, if you have to deal with going out with like Maddie who gets me hard every time, they know what I have to deal with.
That is wild.
Yeah.
Understandable, but wild.
Yeah.
Um, it depends. In a pinch, I can do my face in an hour and a half.
Mhm.
But I always feel like I don't really, again, I don't like that per se. Um, so for that reason, for me, usually between 2 to 3 hours,
Yeah.
maybe four. It depends on how much detail I want to put into my face. It depends on if I have all the products. Also, you have to understand when I paint my face, I am concentrating, but also I'm spacing the fuck out by accident. So there are times, especially if I'm talking and smoking, because I love to smoke and do my face.
Mhm.
I gotta smoke or drink and do my face. That is, it's my happy place. I have music playing in the background. I'm talking. So if I get into a good conversation, sometimes I'll forget and I'll be like, oh shit. Or there will be things that I'm trying to get done correctly, and I want them done a certain way, and I'm just fucking up. Like my eyebrows, bitch. Don't even get me started. Okay, those alone take like 2 hours because I don't glue mine down. I scope mine out. I just don't glue them down.
Same.
So having to do that with color corrector and foundation and concealer, and not make my brows look too thin or too crazy, it's annoying.
I think what I like about I think I change my brows instead of going down, I go more this way.
Yeah, I don't ever go down because up until probably a couple months ago, my sister got me a palette for Christmas, and it has liquid liner in it, like liquid activated liner.
Yeah.
And I think I used it the first time a couple months ago to actually start lining my eyes because before that I didn't know how, and me and eyeliner weren't friends. So what I would
Mm.
do instead is I would create my wing with my eyeshadow, but to help that, I would do my eyebrows and I would point them up. Like I would sculpt them out and sculpt them up. And ever since then, it's just always brought my face up, and it's just been my eyebrow look. We gonna have a sculpt from the top, hope.
I think what I also like I would take that I like learned is me. This is what I glad that you told me to start threading my brows because I didn't know how to glue them back down. 'Cause I still use it today. But what I like when my eyebrow threader usually does it, I can just go over like the brow because she does it like my usual dry brow.
Mm-hmm.
So I can literally just like fill it in.
Yeah. Luckily, I would say luckily for me is I don't have like too much of a crazy issue with my brows. Like they're not excuse me, my damn skirt got stuck.
You're good.
We'll work on it later. My brows aren't too crazy.
Mm.
Like they're rather thin, so I'm like, okay, I like that because they are rather thin. And it's easier to sculpt them. However, I have seen that using like a what is it called? Like a little piece of board, a little piece of cardboard,
Yeah.
and putting them down when I do it has also made it a lot easier. Excuse me one second, Donna. My
No,
dress is,
you're good.
and I just
This is why I like post.
okay. There we
Okay,
go.
so moving on from brows, wearing flats during a performance.
Oh no, ma'am.
You
Decline. Decline. I
want to
don't
tell the
care.
spooky fans why? Yeah.
I don't care if you're healed, unless you're like unless you can't wear them. Like there's a medical reason why you can't, then I completely understand that. Girl, go
Mm.
off. If you just are like, oh, I'm just gonna wear these flats because I want to wear flats, I'm gonna fight you because I feel like unless it's like your look, if that makes sense. Like if you're a queen who doesn't ever wear heels, then I guess um, go off. If you're my child, we're gonna have to have a conversation about it
Yes.
because I don't know how I feel about wearing flats on stage. But at the same point in time, go off. Me personally, I will always be in a heel. I don't give a fuck if it's this big. I will be in a heel.
I think me, when it comes to heels, I love wearing my boots. I love wearing my platforms. And then I love the short boots and stiletto. The only
We
thing
need
that
to
I
get you
hate,
some more boots. I'm gonna send you. We're gonna get you some more boots.
oh, I just meant to tell you, I got over the knee leather boots, stilettos.
Thank you. Because I'm
Yeah.
tired of seeing these little pirate boots you got. Okay, they were a good run for a good couple years, but we need you some more boots. I want to see you in different boots.
Oh, I got four shoes. The next pair of shoes I'm actually getting is actually for this alien outfit I'm
Ooh,
doing pretty soon, which is gonna be like the white go-go boots that RuPaul always makes fun of, where he's like, "You always look like a hoe when you wear those." So that's the next ones I'm actually trying to get, but that outfit is not fully done yet. Probably gonna be done by probably April is the next costume he's working on.
I'm sorry. I hear my cat messing with my suitcase. I might have to go kill him in a second.
Well, after this game, let's take another break so you can do that.
Yes, good child. But yeah, I
Let's
do love cute go-go boots.
the white ones. I do say to myself, I love my shoe game. I do, and I want to get more shoes.
I need more heels because I have a really bad habit of buying heels only when I need to buy heels. And then because of that, when I be running and splitting and doing all these, my heels be breaking, and then I be looking crazy because now I need more heels.
Yeah. Lip syncing to a song you absolutely hate because the audience requested.
Girl, if they paying me, I don't care.
Yeah.
If they paying me, I don't care.
So it's gonna be a
As
divine.
as long as they're paying me, divine, okay? And I
Yes.
won't do it for free, but as long as you're paying me, what you want me to think to? Ronald McDonald?
Accepting a gig that pays an exposure.
Divine slash decline. Suppose. Here's the reason. Before, I would always do gigs that just paid an exposure, even if they didn't pay, because I want to get my name out there. And I feel like enough people know me now to where I wouldn't do that
Yeah.
for, you know, like Greensboro area. But for areas that I'm not quite aware of yet, yes, I'm gonna try and I would do a gig that gets me paid exposure. However, I have started now when there's a place that wants me to perform or somewhere that I want to perform at, I have started inviting people that I know like have shows or showcases there out to see me when I perform at other places so they can see what they're getting first. And then usually that's followed behind the price tag, which is great.
Yes.
But so yeah, if it's in a place I don't know, like if I was coming to Orlando, I don't know if I'm gonna say that far. If I was to go to like Cary or somewhere I haven't been, then it's a possibility I'd be fine with it, depending on if I felt like, okay, yeah, that's fine. But also, as long as I've been doing drag now, it's be very blue moonish if I get a gig that pays an exposure. It's very blue
Yes.
moonish. Like
Once
this,
in a blue moon.
yeah, this ain't cheap. I've been doing drag for a minute now, so this ain't cheap.
Doing a drag brunch after being all night partying.
Now look, I actually have never had that issue. However, no, that's a lie. I've had that issue before, but it wasn't too much of an issue. It's just getting up to do the makeup is a thing that I don't care too much about because, bitch, once I go to sleep, I'm tired.
Yeah.
Let me sleep. So waking up to have to get up early and shave my face because my beard doesn't grow back at this point.
Mhm.
So shave my face, then get in the shower, then start working on my face, and still drive to the brunch. I've done it. It's not my favorite thing in the world. But that's really just me having to be like, okay, bitch, if you know you have a brunch the next morning, go to bed early so you can get up and do what you need to do.
Yes.
So that's what I'm doing when I have my brunch on the 16th. I'm going to bed early the night before so I can get my ass up and get to Cary on time.
See me, I I have not I would say I would do a brunch, but I agree with you on getting to bed early. But usually how my sleep schedule is like, do you want to go to sleep? Take a sleeping med.
That is not the flex you think it is. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. You
Yeah, because
even
I
then,
usually wake up around like 12 when the brunch starts. So I have to take the sleeping pill just to force myself to go to sleep.
oh, girl, get your good on melatonin. Yeah. Luckily now because of my job, I get up earlier, but I used to get up late, and that used to be my problem. 'Cause I used to not wake up till like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, especially if I went out the night before. Oh, bitch, I'm done for the whole day. You don't talk to me. I'm dead somewhere in a ditch probably because I probably ain't go to bed till like 6.
Mm.
And you know my big ass like to sleep, so I'm usually knocked out. However, now because of my job, even if I go to bed at 6, I'm getting the fuck up at 8, and I hate it.
That part.
I think today's the longest I've slept in, and I woke up at 11.
I think I need my usual like 6 to 7 hours and then I'll be
I don't even get usually that, so
fine.
I'm gonna just go to bed early. I'm gonna drink me some tea, have dinner at like 8, and be in bed by 9, and then watch anime until I fall asleep. But at least I'd be in bed at 9.
Well, let's give it up for our game, Divine Divine. Now, I know you need to go see your suitcase. So I'm gonna
Another
take a
day.
little 5 minute break.
Yes, I'm gonna go beat that cat or someone. I think I got taken care of. But ho, I love a good minute break. Gotta pee.
And then we'll get into the underworld portals.
Big bets, big bets.
All right, Mom. I need you to take a journey with me through these underworld portals I've created just for you. Because we're about to take a journey back in
Ooh, girl, not back in time. You trying to call me old?
time. Here we are. We see a little Serenity dancing down the sidewalk, moving and grooving in Greensboro, North Carolina. What was it like growing up there, and how did the community around shape who you become today?
First off, growing up here is ghetto. Straight ghetto. No, but for real. Honestly, growing up was an interesting experience because just the environments I was in. Like, I went to a high school that was, at that point when I went, it was racist and homophobic. So being a little mixed gay kid, in that type of environment was really an interesting feeling because, yeah, no, I had to fight a lot. Y'all had me fucked up. But then actually, like, when I got out of high school and even like I would say in the later parts of high school, I experienced different things, different events for LGBT youth that really helped shape my world, kind of. I ended up going to gay prom in Raleigh, hosted by Out Raleigh, which is amazing because I felt so normal. It was so great. I didn't feel weird or nothing. I ended up going and doing gay prom again when they had it. I ended up going to a gay youth leadership thanks to Out Raleigh and Time Out Youth. It was great. So in that aspect, I loved it, but it definitely made being more feminine more difficult, at least for
Yeah.
me, because I already had people because of where we were that was like, "Oh, you're already a super femme guy. Da da da. You're gonna end up being a drag queen." I'm like, "No, I'm not." And well, look at me now. I guess the joke's on me, but also I go a lot of places in drag in Greensboro after shows and stuff, and I always get mixed reactions. So it's always interesting, but also I'm always the type like if you got a problem, we can settle it.
Yeah.
But because you're not about to scare me. But at the same point, it is always interesting because with my children or people who are okay, they tell me like, they feel okay being out in drag because of me. So there are places where I feel more fine being in drag, like Raleigh, Charlotte, like being gay out there, I feel like is easier, is more gay people out there, I would say. As opposed to sometimes in Greensboro, I'm like, I'm really sure the only reason no one has said anything to me is because they think I'm an actual female.
I can kind of see that because I think we did have a discussion about trans like gender.
Mm-hmm.
hmm Because when I see you in drag, you paint like the transgenders I've seen down here, where you paint so natural and so simple.
That's really just because that's how I paint.
Yeah.
That's just how I paint. But a lot of people a lot of people always assume that I am transgender, and so yeah, I think that is a lot of the reason why I am not really bothered when I'm in drag. People really don't bother me because I'm passable,
hmm
and that's cool. But just from being in Raleigh, especially, like I enjoy being in Raleigh because even if I'm not in drag and I'm just being a feminine gay boy, they don't automatically assume I'm trans, and also they just don't give a fuck really, which is great to know.
Well, before we go to the next question, can you tell our fans how do you identify?
Um, the world has been waiting for this answer and this question a long time. So I always say I've never been the trans allegations. However, I actually am gender fluid. and
Mhm.
I'm pansexual as well. So you catch me on a day, whatever day you catch me on, I might be a man, I might be a woman. I sometimes I'm an in between entity.
Mhm.
It's really just on the gender non-conforming part for that. So
Well, we have well, you just talked about your challenges. So we discovered drag at chemistry, pivotal moment in your life. Can you describe what that first encounter was like and how it influenced your passion for drag?
yes. So the first time I actually experienced like a drag show, because I had met a drag queen prior to this at Pride, but actually like going to a drag show was I was 18 and I had just went to the club for the first time and I had a really shitty day.
Mhm.
Like I was over it. Excuse me, I was fighting with my boyfriend at the time. It was just over it. I went to the club and I saw Ivy perform, my mother. And she was doing It's Not Right, But It's Okay. And I'm like, oh shit, this is my song. So I saw her do it. And afterwards, they were playing music, and I was just out there dancing, living my best life, you know. And at this point, I had already pre-gamed, so I was already gone, okay, out the
Yeah.
window to the left. And I'm dancing, enjoying myself, just letting my emotions out. And Ivy comes over to me, and she's like, "So, when you gonna get in drag?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Never. I'm
Yeah.
not. That's not my avenue." She's like, okay. And when it does become your avenue, let me know and we'll go from there. And I was like, okay. And that was the very first time I ever experienced any type of drag.
And we talk about how did you, before I do go into you getting into drag for the first time, how did you meet your drag mother, Ivy Carter? What was your initial reaction?
Like I said, our first meeting was when I was 18, and she came to me in the club and asked me, like, when am I getting dragged? Da da da. And my first reaction is she's crazy. She's crazy. It's like, I'm not that gay. She's crazy. And it wasn't even so much of a I'm not that gay in a bad way. It was just like, I don't feel like I have the talent. I don't feel like I have what it takes. So or I also don't feel like I could do it in front of crowds. Like being in crowds terrified me at this point. So I'm like, no. Talking about when I'm getting, I'm not. What do you
Yeah.
mean? And it kind of made me chuckle too, because I'm like, damn, you know, I have people from my high school also telling me I'd be a beautiful drag queen when I shave my face, and you come to ask me these questions. I'm like, no, that's not happening. We're not doing that. Again, jokes on me apparently, but
And how did you first start performing? Was there a particular moment or a person who pushed you towards performing? I,
yes, yes. So I told you I I was told pretty much that I couldn't do it, right?
mhm,
But the way I was told was weird. So I was dating your other parent at this point.
yeah,
And we were together and she had told me her interest in drag, and I was like, okay, boom. Well, I know a drag queen, Ivy. Let's see what we can do. And in the process, she was like, well, you should try it with me, da da da. I'm like, all right, I'll try it just to go along with it. Because Ivy told us the stipulations for getting in drag were that we had to win a talent show, and then she
yeah.
would accept us as her children. And we had to do a talent show, and she would accept us as her children. So I'm like, okay, you know, it is what it is. Boom, let's do it. Well, your other parent was very cocky and was very so much like, oh, you're not going to win the talent show. It's okay. Don't feel bad. I'm going to win. You know, I've done it before. I've done all this. And I just don't like being told what I'm gonna do and what I'm not gonna do because you had me fucked up. So now I was like, I have to show you that that's not the case. Like I have to pretty much prove you wrong at this point. So for me, it became I have to do this. I have to do this. I have to beat you.
Yeah.
And it was very annoying because nothing wanted to go right for me ever. My outfit came the day before the talent show, didn't fit, so I had to stay up all night putting together with hot glue and stitches an outfit
Yeah.
to wear. And at this point in time, the other parent did help me with that instead of Anastasia, so I was very grateful.
Mhm.
But for me, going on stage was terrifying and wild. I was very uncoordinated, but winning my first time ever going out there definitely gave me a confidence boost that I had never experienced. and made me fall in love with doing drag.
Well, I will tell the people I do not claim that one as my parent anymore, and you know what? But I'm not gonna say it on this podcast.
We'll talk. But I ain't know that, but we'll talk.
We will. Okay, so Ivy becomes your drag mother, and you get brought into the prominent drag family in the South. What was one piece of advice you received from her that has always stuck with you, and how has that shaped your drag career?
Um, Honestly, one piece of advice I got from Ivy that really stuck with me is not everyone's out to get you. Because when we first started drag, when me, Anastasia, and Angelique at that point had first started drag, um, I always felt like people had some shit to say because I
Mhm.
felt like the queens were just being too shady for my liking, and I was always ready to fight them. And Ivy really had to calm me down and be like, "You have to stop feeling like everybody's out to get you. Nobody's out to get you. Stop that shit." And at first, I was like, "Well, you don't understand," and she's like, "No, I don't care." So it made me stop thinking like in this mindset of, "Oh, I have to be better than this queen. This queen is trying to get me," and more so gave me the mindset of, "I'm only trying to be better than myself, better than I was the last performance or better than I was the last show." So fuck it. We gonna be out here. We're gonna do what we do. And because of that, it gave me the opportunity to see other queens and meet other queens with an honest, earnest space in my heart to accept
Yeah.
them for who they were, or to decide that I didn't want to fuck with them. Like it wasn't because if I didn't want to fuck with them, then at that point it meant to me that I wasn't feeling like they were out to get me. I honestly just did not like them
Mhm.
because I had stopped feeling like everyone was out to get me. And then also queens that I thought that I would not like and that I thought would be out to get me because of their attitude. Some of them are my children now, and we are best friends. So it just having that understanding that not everyone's out to get you when you first start is a really good thing because I had heard so many stories of like drag queens who had their makeup destroyed, their wigs cut, all this when they are just starting out. And me personally, destroy my stuff if you want to and see if I don't drag you because
Ah,
it's expensive and I ain't got time for all that. But not having that mindset anymore, that bias, really gave me the chance to meet other queens that I probably wouldn't have met if it was for me still feeling like everybody was out to get me.
mhm. And I think that's what you told me as well, and that's why I kind of lead it on to today is always be open-minded.
Be open minded. Don't be a fool because there are people out here who will play you like a fool. And the accident taught me that. The accident taught me to still not feel like everyone's out to get me, but still be very cautious with who I let in. So,
Yeah.
you know.
And I get that from me because I always got that advice to be careful who you hang around.
Yes, because sometimes people be trifling. They be just be evil.
Okay, so what was it like after that initial performance? Because you set the bar for yourself. How did it feel to continue raising the stakes with each performance after winning that talent show?
Um, Honestly, it felt like a dream every time. Like I felt like it wasn't real because the first time on the show, I was not expecting to win. I was expecting to walk away and be like, "Oh, I gave it my best. It is what it is."
Mhm.
Even though I wanted to win, realistically, I wasn't expecting it. So winning kind of set the bar up. Okay, bitch, now you're booked. You did what you had to do. Now, what's the next step we can do and go further?
Yeah.
And then that was scary because when I first did drag, I didn't paint my own face. Your
Mhm.
auntie painted my face for me. So now I had to learn how to paint my own face, which was absolutely terrifying. And Auntie Naya kind of set the precedent for that because she one night she was like, "One of y'all can use your mom's room," because Ivy wasn't there. That's when they lived together. She was like, "One of y'all can use your mom's room to paint. The other can paint in the kitchen." And Anastasia was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna paint her face in the kitchen, and then I'll go do mine." And Auntie Naya was like, "Okay, whatever." And then she came back and she was like, "Actually, no, scratch that. Serenity, go in your mama's room. You're painting your own face tonight." Terrifying moment. Let me tell you, fucking terrifying. Okay. I was about to shit bricks. I was so scared. And at that point in time, my sister at that point in time, she no longer does drag, but my other sister was there and she still helped me a little bit. But moments like that, I kind of had to continue to raise the bar because once I went out and saw myself, I'm like, okay, bitch, you can be pretty. Continue to go. Continue to
Yeah.
go. Continue to go. Because also, I would say it's because of my anxiety of being embarrassed. Not gonna lie to you. Um, I would never step out the house looking crazy as much as I can help it because I don't want to look embarrassed. Because I don't know if I can handle that. Like I've had those moments, and each time I had those moments, I'm like, well, this was embarrassing. Um, don't want to happen again. So just in that moment, I have just continued to try to work more and go higher and do better. And sometimes it is a moment where I'm like, well, damn, what can I do this better than this? And then I'll do something by accident and be like, oh shit, okay, I can continue going. Like you haven't learned all you can. So it just kind of kept me with an open mind and to continue to learn.
And I remember the first time Anastasia painted my face, and then after that, you were like, "Well, you're in COVID now. You got time to learn, daughter."
I'm
And then
trying to
we
tell
see
you.
where I am today.
I'm trying to tell you. And the crazy part is, I told you you had time to learn in COVID. Let me tell you, I'm such a hypocrite only because I don't want to be. So I'm gonna start doing better. But the only reason I say I am a hypocrite is simply because of the fact, like, for me, it was when I first started like painting my face and stuff. Even now, I don't practice painting my face as much as I should until I
Mhm.
have a show, and then I'm like, oh shit, now I have to paint my face. What are we gonna do today? And it works out decent. I mean, the pressure put that I get put under helps me out, but I do need to start actually practicing. I just feel like makeup is expensive at times, and a bitch is broke, and there's my problem.
I think what
But
also helps me is not only going out to support queens and drag, but having these shows every week also helps as well.
that too. When I started getting booked more, for me, I was like, okay, boom. Now I have to practice more because I'm getting booked more.
Mhm.
So that was nice. But I will say going out and supporting people, love doing that. I don't do it in drag as much, only sometimes. And that's just because if I'm going out to support somebody, unless I've been planning it, I usually have just randomly found out about it, and I'm like, "Oh shit, bitch, let's go support them."
Mhm.
And it's a last minute decision, and last minute dragging me never works out because I look when Serenity is done performing, she gets put away and put into a suitcase until I remember that I have another show, and I pull her out like a week before and start getting her ready. So last minute drag, I'd be like, "Oh shit, wait a minute, do I have a wig? Do I have heels? What outfit I'm gonna wear?" And that's just a lot to do.
I think that's why I'm glad that I have the drag closet that I do now, which I have like because all of my regular clothes I keep in bins behind me, but mostly that's me and Kendall's drag closet right over there. But I also keep my wigs on like show, especially because you know the wigs I be wearing now.
That's fair. I need to get me a drag closet. I recently switched rooms and I have a little wardrobe that I just have to finish moving out into the closet. The bitch has just been lazy. And then when I do that, I'll have a little drag wardrobe. But it's also like I need another room. I want a room for my drag.
That's what I told Kendall as well. I'm like, when we're ready to move out, when the lease runs out in September, we are getting a two bedroom.
Yeah, I already have a two bedroom. So now I'm like, me and Babe were talking about, I'm like, when we do move, we need at least three bedrooms. And he was like, yeah, because you know, my little one. I'm like, okay, then we need four because I need a room that I can just put all my drag in and I can have it there and I can close it off and don't have to worry about it. And then when I want to go practice paint, I can go in there, close the door, turn on music, put on the lights, smoke a blunt, and just paint.
Yes.
Oh, the dream.
So we get into me. You adopted your first drag child, me. What was that experience like for you, and how did it feel to take on the role of a drag mother? Because I know there's a lot of responsibilities that came with. Because you know how I used to be back then. Yeah.
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
You were You honestly weren't even that bad, to be honest. You just made me want to wring your neck at times. You were just hard headed as shit. Um, and being someone who didn't have patience, you were teaching me to have patience. And I appreciate that. Don't do it again, but I appreciate it. But also, I learned that being a drag mother wasn't what I thought it was. I thought it was simply just someone who, was there for you when you needed them, yes, but also guided you in drag. And that was it. But like ever since having you and then having everyone else, I've come to realize like drag mothers are more, at least for me, being a drag mother is more than just telling you what you can wear in drag or giving
Yeah.
you advice for drag. It's being there when you have a hard time or a hard day at work and you just need someone to cry to, when some shit is going on and you're ready to lose your shit and you want someone to vent to, or in some cases when you need somebody to come beat somebody's ass. Um, it's like an actual mother. So having that relationship with you, like I learned you more as a person. I got to learn you more as a queen. And Samara versus AJ are two different people. And I got to learn both of them. So it was a great experience because I'm happy I had that experience. But it was also very nerve wracking because since you were my first child, I'm like, what if I fuck up?
Hmm.
Or what if I tell you something wrong and it fucks you up? Now it's not as nerve wracking because I've seen the fruits of my labor. So I'm like, okay, I know what to say and what not to say. But when first having you and taking all those responsibilities as a kid who still, even to this day, like one thing I had to realize as drag mom is I don't know anything. To be completely honest, I don't have my shit together like I should. And yet that is what pushes me to trying to get y'all to have y'all shit together better than me.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I have to make sure that y'all aren't losing y'all shit like I be losing my shit because I don't want that for y'all.
Yeah.
And like I feel responsible for y'all at this point because no one I didn't like most of my kids I don't ask to be my kids. Most of my kids ask to be mine in a sense. They ask can they be my kid, not the other way around. So with that being said, you're looking up to me for something and now I have to make sure I can meet that. And that's why it gets so annoying when I would tell you stuff about makeup and you just would not listen to me or continue to do something else because I'm like, you came to me and asked me to be your drag mom.
Yes.
So
Well,
clearly,
can we get into that story? Because I think fans want to know what happened. Because I remember Halloween night. I think you and I forget who we but I know I was talking to Skylar at that time, or who people know as Gemini as well. But I can't remember that night for the faint of me. What because I remember after, but I remember me and you talking about drag, and then I was like, you know what? I'll give it a try.
yeah, because look, that night was probably one of the best nights for me in drag because I had really just I had a good time. I was dressed as a cat. I was living my my best life. And I was still with my ex at this point, and we were just talking. And you kept talking about how like, oh, you wanted to be a dancer and you were a go-go dancer and you wanted to do so much with theater. And I'm like, so why not just be a queen?
Yeah.
And you're like, what do you mean? I'm like, exactly what I said. Like, you have good concepts. Why not just be a queen instead of just being a go-go dancer? And you'll make more money. Why not just be a queen? And then after, I think after like three or four times of me asking, and I would say I was slightly more aggressive each time I asked because I wasn't understanding it. You were just like, well, I guess I'll give it a try. And I'm like, damn, did I just bully this person and try and drag? Hmm.
I don't think it was until Anastasia painted me that first time at Legends that I was like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah, the first time you put makeup on and you really get painted, it's a difference. Like the first time I saw me paint, I was like, bitch, who is she? She is, yes, we can give this a try.
I look at my old photos and I'm like, I don't even think I paint like how Anastasia painted me that first night anymore.
And that's honestly not a bad thing. It means that your painting evolved as well. Because even like now, when I paint, I don't paint nothing like the first time I painted.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, that's great because it means I'm growing. But it's a little strange to see because I'll go back and be like, bitch, what the fuck was I thinking? Why did I think this was cute?
Do you ever go back with your old photos and performances and you're like, sure.
All the time. There are performances that I'm like, I didn't do bad at, but I go back and watch them. I'm like, this could have been better. This could have been cleaner. And why are you wearing that color?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? So, um,
Yeah,
but
because
that's how you grow. So.
I was about to say because I used to be like Vanjie where she was wearing street grunge, and now I don't even wear kind of that stuff anymore.
See, I used to not wear skirts. I used to wear just bodysuits, and then your auntie put me on wearing a mini skirt with a bodysuit, and bitch, I have fallen in love with that little combo. I need to get more outfits made, um, but I have fallen in love with that combo.
Well, let me know because I can always ask him to buy something for you. He's always making something for me. He is good with the sewing and the surgery machine.
Look, we can make something work. Talk about it.
So we have the drag family, the Divines. We talk about how we took that step and we took that drag dynasty, but how does, besides the Divines, how does the Carter family maintain such strong bond, not only with the Carters, the Amons, and the Divines? And what are the challenges of coming from that large drag family?
Um, Honestly, I would say the way I kind of stay in touch with the family for real is having a card night and like inviting Auntie Naya over to play cards, or like when I have a dinner or something, inviting or a little kickback, inviting Auntie Naya and Malaya to come over if they can. And one of the struggles it does tend to be like, especially with queens who are more booked and busy, like Auntie Naya and Malaya, finding when they're free. One,
Yeah.
but two, just having the time to be able to actually just play games, because especially with Auntie Naya, like I love whenever we haven't had a game night in a second, but we're gonna have one soon over here, and I'm gonna invite her over because it's been a minute, and I just love playing cards with her and talking with her because one, she's a great Kiki.
Mhm.
Two, she really just knows how to make me laugh, like how we can enjoy each other's company, and then three, she also checks me when I need to be checked.
Yes.
Especially with me being a mother, but still being a young mother, she'll say things. She'll be like, "All right, Serenity, this is why you don't need to have so many children." Or she'll say something and check me, and I'll be like, "Oh," I'm like, "You're not wrong." Okay.
That is my auntie at the works.
Yes, and I always appreciate that. But keeping that strong bond is just like having the family time. Now, unfortunately, I haven't been able to have one of those moments with. I haven't been able to have one of those moments with my mother in a long time, because she's always busy. So it's just trying to get that. And I understand, unfortunately, because we are still all are people at the end of the day, besides just queens, that we all do have different things going on. So I think one of the biggest challenges, and just in general, is trying to keep up and have that time together, especially when people are like so far away. Like at one point in
Like for
time,
example, this one over here. And
right. And then like Aunt Tiki and stuff, like she's further away and I don't have a car right now. So just being able to get that time and see them is a challenge. But when I do see them, it's always fun. I love it.
I think me when I came back before graduation, that actually I love that time spending time with my family because it feel like how many times I'm just like I'll see in the group chat because I'm still in there, I am, but I'll be like, well, I wish I was there. I really
Child,
do.
my problem is I be throwing last minute things. Like we had um we had a birthday party a while back. Well, first off, your nephew and your nibbling threw me a birthday party, which was a surprise birthday party the other week, a couple weeks ago, and that was great. I enjoyed that. But before that, I'd be like, oh, like one of your sisters, Brashana, got a new boyfriend. I'd be like, oh, you have a new boyfriend? Well, let's meet him. And I'd be like, you know what? Let's have dinner on Tuesday at 7. And then I'd be late to my own event. And then I'd be like, damn, all these people here. But also, it's like, hey, sir, can you move?
Dog.
Hey, move, move, go away. That is my partner's dog, Bronx, my other son, and he does not like when I don't give him attention.
You look so cute.
He's a big ass baby. He has a little brother who is laying on the couch currently, curled up, thinking he's a cat. It's real weird. Um, but yeah, just having like late minute stuff. I'll throw a party last minute and be like, "Hey guys, y'all want to come over?" and or we're having a party tomorrow, and people be like, "Bitch, you have to let us know ahead of time. You can't just throw late night events." Like even tonight, we have Steven Universe night at the house,
Mhm.
and so I invited your sister and your grandfather over, and the Nibblings are here. So I'm like, well, another movie night out of nowhere.
And I think another thing that I also had to learn is even though I'm not there with you guys, which I'm still learning, and I feel bad for myself 'cause I'm always busy down here, is just I need to check on you more and just say hello and pop in.
Yeah, but I got to do the same. Um, that's one thing I'm still working on myself, even as a mother, is being present because just like y'all have stuff going on, bitch, I be over here fighting, okay?
Yes.
Boxing life. And life lately has been pushing me down and kicking me in my stomach and calling me a hoe.
Mhm.
Like, so, but it is always nice. Like, I do keep up with y'all. I do, especially you. I do keep up with you on TikTok and stuff. So I see certain things. I'm like, okay, this is cute. This is cute. And then we'll have a conversation. I'll be like, she's doing her thing. You better, bitch.
Well, I will tell you that I am so glad to have the family we do now, even though it's a big family.
Look, my rolling the stone, okay? I want to take over the world.
Yes. So we talked about the accident, but what I want to get into is the South has this unique drag culture. How does being part of a Southern drag family influence your performances and interactions with other queens?
Um, One thing I've noticed at least a lot in Greensboro is a lot of beauty queens, a lot of glamour queens, and a lot of bucking queens. And my mother being one of them who was known mostly for bucking and then started being known for beauty as well. And then or just being very entertaining. And then people like Naya who are known for being very glamorous and also very good at bucking, like that is a lot of what the South is. So I kind of got into that because I enjoy it,
Mhm.
but I could see how it could be intimidating to some people. Feeling like that's kind of the only niche, and it kind of in certain places, certain drag just isn't appreciated as much.
But I think that's what you always told me in the beginning, because you always knew I was going to be different than the rest of the family. That I think that's what made me make that jump to Orlando and seeing all those kinds of artistry.
Yeah, because I'm like, I remember you wanted to be, at one point you wanted to be just a bucking queen. And I'm like, girl, you don't have to dance. It's okay. You don't have to. Like I get it because that's a lot that's what goes on. That's what I like to do, but you don't have to. But also understanding that you don't have to, I want you to understand like the type of artistry. Because I remember telling you the type of artistry you do, the type of drag that you have that you want to do, chemistry might not be palatable for it. That's
Yeah.
just that. Because all drag is valid, but depending on where it is, it depends on how it gets booked.
And I think I'm going to leave this question. It's not on here, but I'm going to ask you the same question to you that I asked like Auntie Sanaya is that well, it's not really a question, it's more of a comment is I always feel like, yes, I am doing my own thing, but I look to my family and I'm like, I come from the pageant family and I'm the only one that thought out of the box with that.
Um, I've
I
only
mean,
ever
from what I've seen.
I would say I've only ever done one pageant, so I understand like being a little intimidated or not intimidated, but feeling like you have to do a pageant. But even when I have talked with Naya and I've talked to Malaya, they've always told me like you don't feel like you have to do a pageant. If you want to do a pageant, do one. If you don't, you don't.
You know,
Um, but it can be intimidating, especially for me. Like when it came to painting my face and stuff like that, I remember sitting down with my mother, with Ivy and Naya showed me how to do it, and still it's so intimidating to even ask questions because I'm like, you're over here painting your face on a level that I will never be at. And then I started getting better. So I think it's intimidating to an extent because it is like everyone does pageants, and I know that sooner or later I would like to do a pageant. But it's also comforting in the understanding that not everyone's a pageant girl, and they don't really give a fuck. If you don't want to do a pageant, then don't do a pageant. Just don't half step what you are doing.
and I think that's what if like Swiggy fans, you look back at Auntie Sanaya's interview that I had like months ago, is what she told me. she's like, I don't necessarily see you as a pageant queen. I see you more of an out of the box thinker where you take certain concepts and make it come to life. But she's like, pageant, you can always go in. But I see myself as more, rather than like pageants, it's more competitions that I want to do because I have more brain thinking where I can think of those concepts.
Right. I feel like you do. I definitely feel like you have a gift for being more creative. I definitely would say that, pageants might not be your thing, but if you ever did give pageants a shot, I definitely feel like you probably would have a great time doing one. I know you already did one once before, but I'm saying doing more of them just with the creative part of it. I feel like that would you would probably shine a lot in that aspect.
And I feel like to follow you up with that one, yeah, with that, with after Hocus Pocus, I saw coming back to Orlando, having ODRL, Orlando Drag Race Live, open that door. Mikey's new competition that she has, such as like Axel's new competition they have down here, and being able to sign up for those competitions, like, because I think I heard, well, the advice I got from Katana, if you don't mind me saying, is that she wants me to do ODRL. Mikey does want me to do the gig because they see that as more of my art, where instead of if I
Hmm.
did a pageant, it would have to be in the kind of form because they're like, you're not a glamorous girl.
I mean, I honestly, I agree and I disagree. I do feel like, definitely do ORDL. Um, yeah, I feel like that definitely. I feel like I would still recommend trying to do a pageant because it might push you outside of your comfort zone. And for me, that is the only way that you can mature because one thing I've always said for you, even though you don't necessarily want to be a glamour queen, you do have the ability to pull off a glamour goth look. You
Yeah.
can be eloquent and gothic or eloquent and scary drag or eloquent and I feel like pageantry will give you that cutting edge because then when you are going up against other girls who are really good in their craft, you also have that extra element of now I understand how to perfect it in a glamour wise and I can mix that. I
Yeah.
always say be able to pull from both things because I am not a spooky queen whatsoever. However, I'm getting better at makeup and don't be surprised. Like I said, you see, I'm starting work on my little heart, my little moons with some
Yes.
help. So I have a little idea I'm gonna get coming on, and I'm pulling it from different sources. So I would say if you have a chance to do something different, then do it.
And I
But
think that's what you gave me too, is that's why I don't see myself as normally a spooky emo girl anymore. I see myself as doing different boxes.
right, because at the end of the day, you are much more dangerous having multiple talents than only having one. Yes, you could be a master of one talent, and that doesn't mean don't focus on that type of drag and get mastery over it. Yes, but I feel like, at least for me personally, and how I feel for family, if you can do more than just that one thing, then yes, you are a powerhouse
Yeah.
and you should capitalize on that as much as you can. You should not marginalize, but capitalize off of the ability to do that. You should get as much information as you can and apply it to you in a different way because each form of drag has its own unique concept. And if you can merge all those concepts,
And
that,
that's what I like now that I do because getting that phone call before I give you the last question I have on the road portals, getting that phone call from you and saying, I love that you have versatility with your artistry now. Made me feel and you love and you're proud of me with what I'm doing now. I remember crying and saying, I feel happy. I feel tears of joy now that my mom finally said she's proud of me and what I'm doing now.
and it's not that I wasn't proud of you. I've always been proud of you, or not even, but I've always been proud of you.
Mhm.
I just feel like you weren't really putting it as much as you could. You weren't really putting it in. You were settling. And it was annoying to me because I'm like, I know that you can do better. I've seen you been able to do better. I see the potential of you. Just bunker down and continue to work and continue to try. And so when I gave you that call, it was really just because, bitch, that look blew me out the water. I was like, oh, yes, ma'am. She's really out here working. She's listening to what I'm telling her to do. So I have to let her know, like, hey, I'm watching you and continue to do what you're doing because I am very proud of you. Bitch, you're doing what you want to do. And I'm here for it. You're not
Thank
half
you.
stepping.
So, looking back on your entire journey, what legacy do you hope to leave behind? How do you want to be remembered?
Um, Honestly, I hope to leave behind a legacy of someone who, was a great queen. She was human, but she was a great queen. She was humble at times, cocky at some other times. She talked shit, but she always made you laugh. And whenever you needed someone there, she was there just in general as a person. And then as a mother, I want to leave behind a legacy that I hope that when the rest of my children do decide to become drag parents, if they ever do, they have that understanding, that guiding, like, hey, maybe Serenity wasn't the best, at this or that. But one thing Serenity did do is if I had no food at the house and I was hungry, Serenity told me, come over and eat, come over and talk. If I'm depressed, I can call Serenity. We can talk shit. If I have a situation I'm not sure what's going on, and I can't talk to nobody, I can call Serenity. Just have that figure there, because a lot of my kids, not all of them, but a lot of them don't have that familiar bond with their parents,
Yeah.
and I kind of give them that outlet. So it's like, and for me as well, it's like if I can teach you more things that you didn't know, and teach you how to be a better person and just go through life a little easier, then that's the legacy I hope to leave behind. Someone who was there for you when you needed them, didn't let you get away with shit, but always was there to encourage you and to tell you to continue to go on.
And I think that's what I led on to one of my drag, well, my other drag child, Cam, doesn't do drag as much anymore, but one of my drag shows that I'm proud of today is Kendall. Even though he's my drag cousin, I tell people all the time, I still look to him as a mom's like drag son figure because without me, he would have taken those risks he does now without me pushing him.
And it's one of those things where it's like it makes me proud to see my kids evolve and the things they've done. And I've had some of my children tell me like, "Mom, if it wasn't for you, I probably would have killed myself." To be completely honest, and hearing that is always a weird thing for me because it makes me happy that you didn't, but it also like terrifies me at the same time. So I was like, "Oh shit, well, I continue to be great. Can't lose my
Yeah.
shit now." So it's motivating, but I definitely say, like I said, just be that person that people can remember. Like, if you needed me, you needed me. I was here. Kind of like Pray Tell from
Pose.
yes, kind of like Pray Tell.
And I think that's why I always looked up to you as well, because you could be that mom because well, my mom's there now, but you know how it was before. And I remember us having conversations and being like, yeah.
Sometimes life throw you curveballs and you just need somebody to talk to.
So before I lead it on to the next game, I want to say thank you, Mom, for everything that you've done. I still continue to keep your legacy and showing the artistry that I do for you and for myself.
Don't make me cry. This makeup is not waterproof. I will be over here looking like the Grudge in 2.5 seconds. Don't do that.
Well, Spooky fans, I'm going to take another little break right now before I lead it on to playing another game with Serenity.
You.
And now we've taken a trip down memory lane. Time for some fun with a game I like to call Shady Shade. Here's how it works. I'll pull up the names of some well-known queens from North Carolina, where we're from, and you either compliment them or throw some shade, whatever feels right to you.
You always trying to get me to throw shit.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Grandma Ivy Carter.
Oh, that bitch. I'm playing now. I I love Ivy. Ivy is great. The only shady thing I have for her is I would love to see her. It's been a good minute
Yes.
since my mother has came and visited me. And I'm still waiting for my cheesecake for my birthday. That ain't happened yet either. But
And a smoothie.
and my smoothie. See, yeah. So Ivy, if you're watching this, mommy dearest, when are we having a day?
Take you down to the Cheesecake Factory and get you tropical smoothie or something like
I'm trying to
that.
tell you, I love the Cheesecake Factory. I'm a Cheesecake Factory slut. Okay.
I remember the first time I planned your whole birthday dinner for you, took you out to Carrabba's with the family.
Yes. Ain't never been back since because Carrabba's is expensive as fuck.
That part. Auntie Sanaya Chanel Iman.
Now, her, that beautiful lady. I play it now. Um, she's hilarious. I love Auntie Naya. She had the saying, "You crooked bitch," and let me tell you, I love that saying. Love it. When I first met Auntie Naya, high key, I thought she didn't like me. But you just gotta get to know Naya. Naya's actually really cool. You just gotta get to know her.
I thought the same too. Okay, fans. Like I told Sanaya's interview, if you do guys watch that one, I know Serenity probably has. Have you watched that one?
I'm going to. I
I'll
have.
se- I'll, I'll send it to you.
I've been
But
getting beat up by life.
but yeah, so one thing that you know is I always thought she was one of my favorite icons, and then I remember you remember me telling you I was like I thought my favorite icon was a bitch at first, but then you were like you just got to get to know her.
You just
No,
gotta.
no, no, not Auntie knows this.
You just gotta get to know her. You gotta get to know her. Because I thought Auntie Naya didn't like me at first, like, but it's just Auntie Naya's personality. You just gotta get to know her. She's actually really cool.
She'll read you down. You know she
Oh
will.
yeah, she'll read you the fuck down. That has never changed, but she's really cool.
Okay, Glam Mom, Leia Chanel mine.
I love Grandma. Grandma is great. Um, she also is a little scary. She's a bit scary. But no, I love her. She's one of my biggest influences, to be honest, to be a bucking queen when I saw her dance. Because after the talent show, she came up to me and was like, you got to work some work to do, but it's really good, and it's all really nice and stuff. And you know, just with that understanding, I'm like, I don't know. She gave me confidence from like one big girl to another. Like, bitch, you got this.
Mhm.
And so I was I was really excited for it. Like I was like, okay, bet, you know. But she also will read me in a heartbeat. She's very good at that.
Yes.
She is
Okay.
very good at that.
Before we go on to the one who moved to LA, let me throw my name in the ringer.
Oh, you said throw your name in the ringer.
Yeah.
Well, you are a little shady and a little messy, but you're also my child. So I do love you. But sometimes I'm like, this bitch. When I was in Florida for a second, it was this bitch. I ain't gonna lie to you. This bitch. It was definitely this bitch, but I was like, this bitch.
Yeah. I try, but I know you still sash me up because I still have a lot of learning to do, and I still grow to the day.
Yeah, it's mostly also if I don't snatch y'all up, I'm gonna get snatched up. So
Yes. Well, let's lead it on to another auntie of ours that went on Drag Race, Auntie Heidi.
absolutely adore Heidi. Absolutely adore Heidi. I wish she still lived here because I do miss her. She's fucking hilarious. But yeah, absolutely adore her. Um, yeah, I actually haven't been shady about her. I absolutely adore Heidi. Heidi is hilarious. I remember when she came back to chemistry and I saw her, and she was dressed as she just gave Madam President vibes. So everybody was joking around, and I was like, Heidi, and she was like, "Oh, Secret Service, please." Secret Service. I was like, "Oh, you shady bitch." But I love Heidi. Heidi is everything.
I think I saw her at DragCon one year, and she was like, "Is that Niecy? You better. I know you won't pay for merch, but you won't get in front of the line. Skip this line."
Right. I remember she would call me out on her lives when she'd be on TikTok, and I would be like, "Hey, Auntie," she'd be like, "Oh my gosh, hey, somebody!" I'd be like, "That's my Auntie." Hey.
I love her.
Yes, I remember going to eat with her at Best Dining. It's hilarious. Heidi is just a kick and a half. I miss hanging out with her.
Well, if we ever have the money for both of us to go to DragCon together, we'll go to her booth.
Oh yes, we're gonna go harass her.
Okay, so I have KK Lavelle.
I love KK. Absolutely adore her. She's hilarious. She was also the first bitter queen like I ever saw. And bitch eats down every time. Like you said, put that shit on. KK puts that shit on.
Yeah.
Okay, she puts that shit on. And I love, like, I keep up with KK. She's a dear friend of mine. You know, I keep up with her. I've seen her progression and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And just even now, when she was before, like KK puts that shit on. Like, you know how some people, when they, lose weight and things of that nature, they just kind of lose their style sense. Because KK has always been very stylish to me. Always
Yes.
very, especially in drag. As a bigger girl, loved how stylish she was. She was one of the icons for me. So seeing her, lose this weight and get and be more confident than she already was, and just be this amazing person, especially when she moved, was beautiful to me. And then also, she still put that shit on. Like,
Yes.
has style out the ass. I love KK. She's adorable. She's amazing. Every time she has a wig that she has for sale, she'll hit me up first to see if I want it, and I love that because her wigs are everything.
Mhm.
Her wigs are everything. And her Patrick Star number when she's with Adele doing Adele and is hello, and she's like, "No, this is Patrick Star." Kills me
Yeah.
every fucking time. I'm like, "You better, bitch, go off." Oh, I love KK so much.
I have no vagina.
I don't. I don't know if I know her. We might have met. I'm really bad with names. That's a problem. Like, no tea, no shade, and we probably could have met, and she probably is really super cool if we've met. But I have really bad names. Like, unless I see a picture, I'm like, after I see you a couple times, then okay, boom, I got you. But I run on Dell 95, so I'm a
Well,
little
let me switch that one up since you don't know that one. You know this one too. Everybody reads it in the family. Cocktail.
cocktail. Honestly, no tea, no shade. I love Cocktail down. When I first met Cocktail, I didn't care for her too much. No tea, no shade, but that's just I didn't really know who she was. And then like over the years of me knowing Cocktail and everything, Cocktail has always been like super supportive and super like seeing what she has done, where she has convinced queens to come in and give it a shot every the talent shows that she does in chemistry and things of that nature, and just having her as a show host. Like every time we perform together, always a blast. Love Cocktail,
Yeah.
love Cocktail down, and Cocktail has always done me right. So she threw me off when I first met her. That's all it was.
See, I love how Cocktail will like that in that RV after shows will always be smoking a blunt.
Cocktail was really welcoming. Like I remember, she invited me and your brother to her RV for a cookout, and we went there and we had a cookout. It was like at a lake. It was real cute. I enjoyed it. Cocktail, she's really sweet. Whenever she throws a party, she'll invite me. She'll be like, "Oh, cookout," and she'll invite me, and I'll be like, "Oh."
They'll always like tag me in like flyers, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not down here.
Yes, I do love Cocktail. And Cocktail is really like I love performing with Cocktail whenever I do a show because whenever we perform in chemistry, it's always a cut up. Like she's great energy in the dressing room, and even if you're having a bad day, Cocktail will make you laugh. She's
Yeah, it's that part. Okay, do you know this one? Indica Gemini.
I actually did get the pleasure of meeting Miss Indica. We did a show together, a brunch together in Asheville. I want to say. I'm pretty sure. You know, I'm
Yes.
not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure. Um, but yeah, she's a blast. Don't mind her at all. Love her actually. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did a show together, and or I've seen her perform. I know we've been in the same space yet. That's the problem. See, I told you, horrible with names.
You don't
Horrible.
know names, but you know faces like I do.
Exact horrible with names. But the name sounds familiar enough, and I'm pretty certain I know who we're speaking on to be able to put her with the name with the face. And yeah, me and that person have been in the same space, and every time it's been a blast. So as far as I'm concerned, she's amazing. Great.
Okay, Auntie Anastasia.
Oh, that's my bitch. She get on my nerves sometimes. I want to choke her because she don't like to talk to people. That hoe. But I do love her. That is my good sis, my good Judy. And it's been a minute since we had seen each other in person. So me and that bitch need to go do something. But
Yes.
maybe get our nails done or some shit.
Isn't
But
she in
yeah,
Raleigh now?
I think so. The problem is I don't have a car now. So
Yeah.
it's just us coordinating. But I think the next time I get paid, I'm gonna hit her up and tell her to let's go get our nails done.
That would be nice. A nice, like, relaxing treatment right there.
Yeah, and she's one of the only people I really trust to ride with. So yeah.
Okay, I have Tiki.
I love Tiki. Love Tiki down. That is my bitch. She's one of my favorite aunties, along with Auntie Naya. I love her. She's always hilarious. You can't take Tiki nowhere because Tiki talks shit, and
Yeah.
I love it because she talks cash money shit, and she's hilarious with it. Like, baby, we used to sit in the back of karaoke's at chemistry, and she would be saying some off the wall shit, and I would be back in this bitch dying. Okay, Auntie Key is always a hoot to be next, and if you ever next to her, don't be in a serious situation because the bitch gonna make you laugh. I went
Yes.
to grab her one time um, from I was taking her to the airport or getting her from the airport, one of those things, and I think I was taking her to the airport, and she was talking cash money shit about my car because Silva at this point had a mirror missing, and she was fighting for dear life. And Tiki was like, I feel like we're gonna die in this car. And I was like, Auntie, she's good. Trust me. She's good. I had to climb over the seat because my door handle, I couldn't get in on the driver's side because the crackhead stole my door handle. So I had to climb over the seat. But I'm like, Auntie, we got this. We're good. She was like, Serenity, what the fuck?
I have last but not least one of our other family members, Stacy Sprinkles.
Stacy. Stacy's cool. I don't mind Stacy. Um, We've performed together a couple times, and I think it's pretty cool because Stacey's always very upbeat when we perform together. She's in the dress room. She's always laughing. She's super sweet. So I don't mind her. She's pretty cool. I don't have nothing shady.
She's always giving me like some other drag that she said, especially still hate to the day. One of the things that I hate, and I still miss that blue wig that she gave me for my birthday.
Stacey do got some nice wigs.
No one ever can. I keep asking people, can they ever restyle it? I have never seen it come out the same.
Stacey knows how to style a wig, bitch.
Yes.
I will give her that.
Okay, so you are fierce and oh so beautiful. I'm incredibly proud of the journey you've taken and the path you're paving, not only for yourself, but for the legacy you're leaving beyond for our children. I love you, Mom, and I thank you for everything that you've ever done for me.
I didn't told you about making me cry, bitch. I told you this makeup is not waterproof. No, I'm very proud of you. Especially just as far as you come. Like, I knew you had potential in you. I'm glad that you're really taking a stand and doing things and being very serious about it. And I'm glad you found your niche because, like I said, North Carolina is not the place to be, girl.
I learned that especially when I came back before graduation. I'm like, you know what? I'm going back to Orlando.
I'm like, yeah, girl. I don't know why anyone moves back here. It's not what bitch. When I get the chance, I'm escaping. Do you hear me?
Well, see, me, I wanted to get my degree at that point, but they said I had to come in class in person, so that was mostly the reason I came back.
And that's a good reason. Yeah,
And
don't
now I'm done with school a year later.
look. And you're living your best life.
Yes. So before we wrap things up, is there anything besides the brunch we told about that you would like to share with our Spooky fans about what can they expect from you from the future?
Um, Aside from the brunch that I was telling you about, I am also doing a show on the 29th. It's going to be a family show. Me and two of my daughters are going to be the opener and the closer for a showcase at the Artist Block in Greensboro, North Carolina. I don't have the flyer yet. As soon as I get the flyer, I will send it out. But other than that, girl, we're gonna keep moving and grooving. I know I'm gonna perform some more in Raleigh. I don't know any dates yet. I'm still working on that. But also, a bitch is probably gonna try to make their way just a little bit further out, to be honest. And hopefully, one of my children can bring me to Orlando again.
Let me get TJ to have you use his flyer miles. I gotta get on the phone with him again.
But please do, because I want to get on the plane. I've been telling you.
Well, I'll let you know what happens. You know, I'll call you and be like, Mom, Dad just said this can happen.
And I'd be like, okay, girl, I'm putting in dates now at work. We're getting the luggage together. I'm coming.
And you know, I will tell you this before I do go on Drag Race in the next like few years, which I plan to. And if I get in, I'm gonna need you to bring your ass down here and
Look,
get me fucking together.
look. Just call me. I'll save up. I'll save up PTO for that time. Call me,
Because I know you will tell me like, nope, that's a bad idea. Nope, that is a good idea, but don't do it this way.
girl. You mean a vacation to Orlando where I get to drink and criticize? Count me in. I'm there.
But you know me. We just gotta keep it hush hush.
Girl,
I'll just be like, Mom, you know what it is.
I'm gonna tell your stepdad and be like, "Come on, we're going to Florida." He'll be like, "Why? Don't ask questions. Come on."
Well, other than where people can expect to see from you, where can they follow you?
Um, you can follow me on Instagram. Okay, I won't put this out there. I love everyone who follows me on Instagram, and I do be trying to follow y'all back. My Instagram is not letting me follow anyone back. However, I will be making a post on there. My Instagram is Serenity underscore Devine underscore Carter. I will be posting a post on there about another Instagram, like a second one that I'm going to create, so I can get more people to follow me, and I'll put the name up there. Me and my media team are working on that. Um, I my Snapchat is King Divine. Serenity be on there all the time when she performs, so that's it whenever shows are. And then of course my Facebook is Serenity Devine Carter. You can follow me all there. Yeah.
And Spooky fans, I will pop that in the description below if you want to follow the mom who created this one herself.
Girl, it's a wild ride. Y'all be careful what you follow. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's a wild ride.
Well, I want to say thank you so much, Mom, for joining me today and sharing your story. Your strength, talent, and wisdom are truly inspiring, and I know our Spooky fans have gained so much from learning about your journey.
Well, thank you for having me. A bitch feels famous. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was like, oh, not an interview. um,
Well, they always wanted to hear the Spooky fans always in the comments viewing party, and I know some people in the comments for Unholy Encounters like, can you ever bring your mom on? Because you always talk about her all the time.
aw. Well, look, like I said, I'm extremely proud of you. It's been a blast. Yeah, we need to go ahead and get up soon because I do want to, like I said, on a real note though, I do have to come to Orlando soon. I
Yes.
am in dire need of a vacation, so a bitch might pop down there soon. You know, I have a good job, so we'll see what's up. Talk to babe. And just keep doing what you're doing. Jesus, just keep doing what you're doing. Honestly, and here you go again. Move.
Well,
um,
to end off this interview, all our listeners, thank you for tuning in to Unholy Encounters. And remember, the world of drag is full of magic, resilience, fierce queens, just like mom or me. Keep supporting your local drag artists and keep spookiness alive in your hearts. And I'm gonna say this is Samara Hex Di'Angelo interviewing Mommy Dears. And I'm gonna say,
yeah.
keep it spooky, fans.